What's going on, everybody? How's everyone doing tonight? I've been waiting to do this discussion for quite a while. Hope you guys are ready for some good time. Smash the like button. Got a special guest waiting in the green room just to see you guys. Chat, you guys are on fire. What's going on? Vivian, Love Temple, TS Pedro, Kind. Kind says A1A, B2B, Georgia Rose. It's been a second. How are you? Of course. What's up, Claudia? What's up, Frank White, KD? Love Matters. Marcus 77, Luna C Point, Zatu, His Excellency. What's up, Little Mop, Bud P, I click buttons. Let's go, man. Oh, who else is coming? Let's see. Expedition, how are you? Surf and Coin. Grab, what's happening? What's up, AI Addict? What's up, KD? What's up, Hans? What's up, Crypto Hunter Toby? Nice to meet you. Stu, Crypto Phil with the mushrooms. Money bags, what's going on? We're gonna do ATROPA tonight. A lot of ATROPA stuff. What's up, Art Suave? Good to see you. Ethneo Sapien. All right. Yeah, we're doing good, man. It is August 20th. Let's get into it. Everybody make some noise. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let me bring on the man. Sunny Day from Sunny's Pub. What's going on, Sunny?
Mr. Wolf, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, brother. It's always great to see you, man. It's been a long time. How have you been?
Man, always a pleasure to see you too. Looking good. It's been, it's been a good summer. I think kind of feels like everyone's out enjoying their summer. A little slow in crypto world these days.
Yeah, it's probably for the best, man. What have you been up to this summer? Anything special?
Oh, a couple of acres of land, some dogs, some cats. Just enjoying the time, man.
Yeah.
Not sitting on a computer anymore as much, you know?
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Hey, chat, how's the audio? Is everybody coming in all right? Let us know if you guys want us to make some adjustments over here. Yeah, it's been a weird summer. I think because we've all been involved in this very weird cycle. But
it is a weird cycle. I mean, it's like this is a bull run. We're super bullish, and it's just quiet. It's nothing like the last one, that's for sure.
No, this cycle was not going to be like the last one for sure. Probably the next one coming up though.
Yeah, I mean, I think we knew that. It's even if you just start to look at liquidity in itself, right? It's like as more people get into this, we get more liquidity. Every time you do a 10x, it takes that much more money, right? So
yeah,
for Bitcoin to be at 100K, anyone that wants a 10x out of it, that's a lot of money these days.
Heck yeah. Speaking of funny cycles too, man, we had a special guest. Crypto Factor is in the house. What's going on, brother? It's good to see you. This guy is a master at understanding cycles. I've had him on the show as well before. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Yeah,
The cycles are always fun unless they break. I feel like this one might break, so
this one could break.
see how that goes. Well, yeah, I mean, even if we don't go back down and do a full retrace like a normal cycle, and we
Yeah.
go sideways for a couple of years, it's there's too many people buying these dips.
I think people are getting ready. I think we're going up no matter what, even if it's a funny cycle. I have to tell you guys, an incredible amount of capital is going to flow into crypto, but it's not going to be straight up. They're definitely going to try to shake everybody out of their bags. They're keeping retail away right now, but when they do come, it's going to be like 2021 on steroids. Just don't necessarily think it's going to happen in the next month or two, 2021 on steroids, but it's coming very soon. It's coming very soon. But we are going to get some bull run here in the fall. There's no doubt about that. I think we have more upside to go. I have no doubt. This is a very calibrated shakeout we're going through right now here at the end of summer. I think we were all waiting for a dip here. I think everything was really overbought. And you know what's funny? You saw that the whole 51% hash rate that the two mining pools. You saw all that FUD coming out about that the two mining pools had more than 51% control, so they were saying that they can attack the chain or cause problems. You saw that, right?
I didn't. I haven't really been paying attention to a whole lot, but that's quality.
Yeah, it's quality FUD, right? And it was perfectly timed right here at the end of August for the dip. And of course, it does feel like we could be at a top, but to be honest, when you look at that FUD, it's too just perfectly placed right now where I'm thinking we go up from here. It's just a nice, juicy shakeout here at the end of summer is all it is.
Yeah, it's definitely, and a lot of people with kids going back to school, stuff like that. People are pulling money out. We usually rally most of September right up to about Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Next time people go for cash.
Yeah, the next one will be at the end of the year. Yeah. The holidays. So, man, I wanted to put this stream together because so many people, because the price of ATROPA, of course, you've seen it. It's very strong. And nobody expected it. Well, except me. I was talking about it when we were at the lows, telling you guys it's going to be up and to the right. And I was very bullish on it. Even with all the shenanigans that were going on, I still had to default to the chart. And the chart was giving me a signal that, no, something's up. Big money likes this project. So we're going to talk about ATROPA because that's what everybody was asking about lately. They're like, hey, is it too late? Is it too late? Should I get in? So, man, let's start. So, ATROPA, where are you at with ATROPA? Emotionally right now. Not logically, just what are your feelings right now?
And
then we'll talk about Maria.
Since day one, right? Like, it's been 2 years now. It's just a math problem that just keeps getting better and better and better, right? Maybe not better, but bigger, right? There's just every time you do another line of math and you have an answer, you just throw in a new equation, right?
Yeah.
Solve that, new equation. Solve that, new equation.
Right.
And you've heard me in the past say before that a lot of this is just stable coins, right? And they're stable coins with a twist, especially like some of the newer stuff, right? You get into the treasury tokens, you start to get multipliers. It's still a stable coin. It just has the ability for what's stable to move up. And when you loop back around at all of it, like all any of it does is buy and burn ATROPA.
Any of what's buying and burning?
Like the whole ecosystem, from what I see, it's just like a big loop.
A big what?
A big loop.
So you
right?
said,
like if you start in one place, you'll through LPs and stuff, you'll move something else that, to an extent, like you can sell one thing and bring its price back up in that same movement.
right?
Like some of the simpler ones. What's in the ATROPA one right now, like strawberry, right? That's one of these new treasury tokens.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a V3 minter. And it's, I don't know, maybe 50 ATROPA for one token, right? And the whole thing about all of ATROPA, right? Like nothing in this entire ecosystem of over 1,000 tokens now actually has any buy pressure or use, right?
Right.
Until there's actually a reason for someone to own the token and use it, then all 1,000 tokens are speculation, right?
Yeah.
But as
Fair
soon
enough.
as there's, say, like a game or something, then you go to like the 666 tokens, some of the old ones like Conrad Meyer that they said was going to be I don't know if we can swear on this, but it was going to be the Skullfucker one, right? So like out of those 666, once the game comes and you kill somebody and you want to go skull fuck them, you can use one of these tokens and it'll like show that in a game. So that puts buy pressure on that token. And something like MV, you need MV now to mint these new tokens. It puts buy pressure on MV. And MV is meant to be minted itself, which when it gets minted, it will, in theory, burn anything that's attached to an LP. And then that goes back around to getting into like BFF, which is just a big liquidity pool. So it's tied into those other tokens that it burns those. Like it's really crazy how much liquidity it's just volume getting added through and how much liquidity is being built, right? Like what's ATROPA still 50 million plus with
So,
PDI?
I don't know the latest thing. Chat, how about what's the latest liquidity with PDI right now, Tropa?
Let's see.
How's Sonny's mic? You guys hearing him all right? It's good? Juicy?
Yeah, ATROPA DI market cap 81 million, liquidity 68 million. So call it 80 and 70.
Okay.
Like
That's pretty good.
it's still ridiculous.
So you think so liquidity is still building. It's on its way up.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it always will, right? The only way that ATROPA comes out is if we buy it, which just puts more of the other asset in there, which
Yeah.
at this time still is very, very heavily DI in the P stables.
Oh, Sonny, by the way, if you can juice up your mic a little bit, do it. If you got some space in there.
Let's see if that's an option.
Now, you said earlier in this conversation, you said the math is getting better. So for people that are, for a lot of people, they really want to learn about ATROPA. So when you say the math is getting better, just to put it in really layman's terms for people to understand, I think I know what you're talking about, but tell them what you mean by the math was getting better.
Like if you think of like a normal stable coin, take DAI from Ethereum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we could probably look at crap. What's the native one here that launched? um, I can't think of the one that launched here that had the levy trading platform.
Oh, I'm not sure either. Maybe Chad will know.
Drawing blank. But either way, so when you start stable coins, you issue your token for the backing, right? And when you pair those, like if we were on ETH, and if you started your stable coin when ETH was $1, right, and it's paired to ETH,
Yeah.
as ETH goes up, the power in your backing gets better. If ETH were, if you started a stable coin now at 4,000 and ETH goes to 2,000, all of a sudden your backing is half gone, right? So your stable's not worth anything. So when you start these stables at the bottom, as they go up, people are going to mint more of them to get the extra ETH in there because the ETH is now worth more. You can still get it for $1, right?
Yeah.
So when you start something like DAI may have started with one token and someone paired it with $1 of Ethereum, right? And as soon as it went up, someone said, "Oh, I'll mint one. I'll take the 10 cents."
Mm-hmm.
Now there's two, and it keeps going and going and going. And now you look at DAI, and there's billions of them, right?
Right.
And as ETH goes up more and more, people print more and more of them because you can print it and redeem it for a profit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in theory, on the way back, that goes the other way, right? You just end up burning the stable and minting the ETH side, right? That's how stables go up and down. So with ATROPA being based on DAI and DAI hitting, not quite absolute zero, but pretty close to it after the whole Caddy P thing, it puts all of those tokens into an LP to where they can be matched with their value and actually have that value, right?
Mm-hmm.
maybe another way of looking at it is like just pulse in general, right? Like there's this pendulum swing of tokens that were airdropped and that
Mm-hmm.
are still in people's wallets versus the tokens that people have already sold into the LP, right? We're going to have that sell pressure from people who have never bought it out of an LP
Mm-hmm.
for quite a while. You know, it's our pendulum swing down. Once all of those tokens, or a majority of them, have hit the LP, then when people start buying them, they're actually buying tokens that can't be liquidated, right? Like minting tokens out of thin air is a liquidation on a long, right? But if you take tokens and add them to LP, you're adding to the long, you're playing the long game. So it's a, I don't know, that's probably a whacked out explanation of anything, but
Which pairs or which tokens have been getting added the most LP to lately that you're kind of like might be referring to?
um, I mean, anything with an LP pool is going to get it, right? And it's kind of funny. I look at a lot of the, you know, the maybe the first 50, right? Like the TSFIs and the downs and all those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a couple of the big ones, they do have some pulse LP, but like the majority of Atropa tokens don't have much actual pulse LP. Um, I was a huge LP provider there for a long time, but when pulse hit its low, I said I want all my pulse out, so I pulled most of my pulse LPs, and then I just did, you know, Atropa Eco to Atropa Eco, so I could keep those coins within. Um, so yeah, I mean, a lot of them just don't have pulse, so they don't really get any normal traders anyway, right? It's all arbitrage bots for 99% of these tokens. And as that arbitrage goes through, they leave a little 0.25% behind. So, you know, something like a TSFI, I doubt anyone traded TSFI today. But if it's got $1,000 in volume, then it got $2 more in liquidity. You know,
Yeah, man, I've been holding TSFI since 2023.
dude, all of us have.
I
Like, I
still,
still got a bag. I traded it one day, and that's about it.
you guys better have some TSFI out there, chat. So let's break this down. Let's go right to the thing, because I think there's two like major things we need to address, and I think people are going to be really curious to hear your point of view on this, because I think I've talked about this a little bit. Actually, I've talked about it a lot because I just rant on my streams a lot. But really, what do you see Atropa as? What do you think Atropa is? What do you see, and what do you see it as right now? Let's just start with that. Really basic for people, because so many people are coming. Even though I know retail is not necessarily here, we do have a lot of people who are very curious about pulsechain. We have a lot of new people coming over here right now. So tell them, like, what is Atropa, man, and what do you see it, or what do you think it was when it started, and what do you think it is now? Just that. Let's just start there.
Um, if you've ever known anyone, you know, if you watch James, or you know, I've met James, I've talked with him. He's really really smart, and especially with math. And math is not my strong suit by any means. I've become good at this because I'm a visual learner. I can visualize this, but when it comes to like 1+1 on paper, like I can't show my work. I'm not really good at it. These
Right.
guys, though, it's what they do, and
Yes. So for
how do you
everyone
show
listening
off
out
to
there,
somebody else that does it? Go ahead.
oh, for everyone listening out there, so he's referring to the person who does math is a creator of Atropa. It's called Maria. So just an FYI.
Right, James Osborne.
James
And
Osborne.
if you if you were a mathematician, you were really smart, you have to take your theories and prove them.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're just equations, right?
Right.
So I feel like this is definitely something that's been in his head for a long time, especially if you go back to the FOSDEM in
100%.
2020 or 2008 or 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, once you get the theory, you have to put it to work. You have to prove it, right? So I feel like this is his way of proving mathematical code. What the end game is necessarily, I'm not sure.
You're saying
And
Atropa is James Osborne's way of proving a certain mathematical code?
yeah,
Wow.
the entire ecosystem, right? Like the main token, Atropa,
Yeah.
is just a token. It's the front door. Like, oh hey, how's it going, right? But
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
then there's these other 1,000 tokens, and it's not like, I mean, yeah, there's some random ones in there, but like most of them do have a point somewhere. They have a reason, right?
Yeah.
anything, these last 900 tokens, they're all just buy and burns for all of the other ATROPA tokens until the V4, right? You can do Ink or Pulse, or like 2CP is a buy and burn for Pulse.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go look there, there's probably I mean, I don't know if there's 100 million Pulse burn there or not, but it's like 300 to 1 on that one. And I know people have been playing that game. The Teddy ones, they burn Teddy Bear, right?
They did in the past. Is this a recent thing?
Well, so it's that swing, right? Like if you believe in the multipliers and you buy them when they're below, because they have a target that they should go up to.
Yeah.
But like all the coins, there's no buy pressure right now, other than people that believe, right? So like if like DARPA was one of the bigger teddy bear multipliers that people really put a lot of teddy bear into, right? And it's probably 3x to its high right now. I think it's like 1,500 to 1 or something. It's at 400 to 1 or 15 million to 1, 400,000 to 1, whatever it's at, But for right now, there's no use for it. But if a game comes out or there's something that Maria says, hey, you need the DARPA token to do this, then bam, there's buy pressure on the DARPA token. And if the DARPA token takes 100,000 teddy bear to get it, then people are going to buy it if it's obviously below that, or if it's around that price or above it, they're going to mint it, burning the teddy bear to get it so they can use it for the game.
Okay, got you. So there, yeah. So let's go back a little bit. So there are a bunch of games and a lot of things being created around ATROPA, but we'll get to that a little bit. But you said so it's his way of proving math. So why do you think ATROPA is on pulsechain, and how do you explain it to somebody who's like just new to pulsechain and keeps hearing ATROPA? Like, what do you tell them? They don't even understand math. Like, what do you tell them it is?
ATROPA's on pulsechain because if I had to guess, James understood what the airdrop meant, and he understood that liquidity would be worth something.
Okay, and the airdrop being like P copies.
Right.
And you're saying he understood what that meant.
So there's no other chain that has that airdrop, right? There's no other chain where you can go and scoop up a cajillion P die for a couple of bucks, pair it with some token, and all of a sudden you run the chain,
True. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's, a lot of my early on successes are in those P copies as well. And, I still hold a very large majority of them. I mean, I got out of Cream early on because they sent that pass parity. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to hold this pass parity. But you could do the code on Ethereum, Binance, wherever. But you really have to have that buy pressure from people to get into your system. You have to sell them on something, right? James didn't have to sell anybody. We just bought DAI and ATROPA was there.
So how would you, what is ATROPA? Like, how can you, what's the elevator pitch if somebody's like coming to you and they're like, hey man, I just heard about ATROPA. I'm new to pulsechain. What is ATROPA? Can it be summed up?
I mean, it's, if we fast forward a year or two, this is going to be, in my opinion, a very forefront of what crypto is. The way that you can launch coins out of here, the way that you can communicate with others, the way you can store your money. Like there's so many things here that I've just personally haven't seen in any other blockchain.
And a lot of that's
projects,
And a lot of that's because of ATROPA.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of the stuff, just like the chat logs, the void, that's all. I mean, that's all kind of normal computer stuff, but making it tokenized is what's really interesting, right? And every time you want to chat in a void, that ends up minting a void token, right? And a void token is worth 1 affection. So if the void is, actually, I think the void hit max mint because they do have max mint numbers, but in theory, a lot of these that you can purchase with affection, they're 1-to-1. So you either go and look at it, and if it's worth more than 1 affection, you mint 1, you sell it for 1.1 affection, and if it's worth 0.9, then you go buy 1 and then redeem it for 1 affection, right? So whatever that price difference is, you can keep all of these tokens stable, and make yourself profit in doing so.
So do you think you've referred to the affection and some of the obviously connected to Lao, and I know some of you guys that are listening out there probably don't even know what we're talking about at this point, but there's some game stuff being developed. Do you think the purpose of Atropa was to lead us into this kind of game slash metaverse world that James is working on, or that's just like a side piece for it?
I mean, I feel like it's definitely a byproduct, right? James has never shilled anything.
No, no.
James has never said, "Hey, buy this thing." I mean, okay, I'm not gonna say he's never shilled, right? He's gone to conferences. He said price points. He said like,
He does give
but
price
early
tags.
on, for 3 months or 6 months before someone found the email, it was like we had no clue, right? Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just the curiosity of those of us that snoop around in the blockchain, we could not be part of it. And I mean, a couple of people I've made it as friends now because we end up finding each other,
Yeah.
and we're like, "Yo, you're the only other one that's found this thing."
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. A lot of
so.
my first early connections here on pulsechain were because of Atropa, and going through all that, and it was pretty cool, man. It was a really cool way to meet people.
Yeah, it was a community that we all kind of played not all, but a lot of us have been here for a few years. I mean, I remember 4 years ago just raiding telegrams and doing the crypto Twitter and just buy our bags, And here I'm just like, no, don't buy anything. Like, learn how to do it, and then you'll see that there's 1,000 opportunities every day. And it's not necessarily, like I say this all the time, that dollar signs are worthless, and especially in the Atropa eco, like your token counts are really what matter, right? Like our prices are going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And if you have 100 Atropa tokens the whole time, you're going to have $10, $15, $5, $10, $5, up and down. But
Yeah.
if you can trade those back and forth a little bit, like WSD or Associated Press, those are both one-to-one treasury tokens with Atropa, right? So like I have both of those just loaded up all day long, and I'd load up 10 Atropa, and anytime it says 10.1 or 10.2, I swap it. So it's like I'm making 10 Atropa a day just leaving that tab open.
Wow, that's pretty awesome, man. It's funny you said like the price doesn't matter, and I don't even know why this is. Maybe you can relate to this. I feel like of a lot of the things I've traded in and out of, the stuff that I've just held has been a lot of the Atropa stuff. I don't know why I feel so confident about it. I don't even know. With as crazy as James, a lot of the actions have been, I've always felt calm and confident about Atropa. Why is that?
Oh, uh, it's because it's those of us that have been here long enough since the beginning. We've just watched it grow, and it's definitely something we're attached to. And you're not
Yeah.
supposed to have emotions in crypto, but like it's hard to not after you've been part of something for so long that's so big, right?
Yeah.
Um, I don't, last December, every one of us was on cloud fucking nine, and a lot of us didn't, and myself included, right? Like, I could have walked away and never seen any of this again and been rich for my days, but I knew that there was more, right? So it's like we didn't cash out in December. We rode it all the way down into January and said, "Oh shit, I should have cashed a little bit more." And here we are. We're not super far from last December. Obviously, we're not quite back there, but you know, we also all know that in the background, Pulse is going to pump. So when Pulse does our 10x, we just lost, we get back everything that we might have lost from that little dip.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we carry on. Right?
100%. 100%. So what? Like, it's funny that some of us have this feeling about it, and we seem to like connect on it because exactly everything you said, I share the same sentiment, and I went through the same process that you explained. And there's a lot of people that aren't just necessarily maxis, but they have a lot of still very ill feelings toward Atropa. And we're just not even going into PDI and all that. I'm just talking about Atropa right now. So why do you think that is? Why do people hate James or Atropa when it's still here?
Um, the general consensus in humanity is 10 people will scream, "You suck," before one gives you a pat on the back, right? So, like, we could sit here and say all the great things that Maria's built and all the money we've made and all that, and then someone's going to go, "Oh, don't you see this where they just dumped all this teddy bear and bridged out $1 million?"
Yeah.
And that's all they're going to look at. And in normal crypto, yeah, how do you blame them? Um, like I personally, I followed that, and I know that money went to Robinhood. I know that money's never coming back, and I'm stoked that James finally took $1 million out and paid himself for the year and a half of work. Because prior to that, he'd only taken like 30 grand.
Wow.
Like I had taken more than him. You know, so to anyone, people that's crypto, man. People like to put others down because they're not in either your position or a good position themselves.
Interesting. So I want to go deeper into that because I think that was an important point. I want to get your opinion on what all happened. I know there was a bit of paying himself and all that, but there's maybe more to talk about there. But if I can, I want to take 1 minute. I just got to run to the loo really quick. You going to be all right here?
Yeah, do it up.
All right. Be right back.
Oh yeah, there's comments. There's a new little puppy. Good new little puppy. Two new puppies, two new kitties. Meow meow. No, don't eat that. Don't eat that either. Good girl. Yeah, good girl.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, where's my glasses?
There you go.
Back in the room. All right. So there was this time when Maria was selling a lot of stuff and dumping a lot of stuff. It was a few months ago. And it definitely solidified in a lot of people a dislike for Maria for sure. Now, I know they were probably taking some profits here and there as well, but do you think there was more to it? Do you think they were market making, or do you think they were genuinely scared that it was like end of cycle or PDI, or we'll talk about that later, but yeah. Because you've met Maria, James.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the $1 million dump, that was when the whole caddy thing was going. Well, caddy and
it was around that time, yeah.
Servicing were the ones that ultimately, finished that whole thing off, right?
Right.
And I was actually right around that. That's the last time I've talked to James, and I just basically called him a coward, and I think he might have blocked me or removed me from the email chain or something.
So when he started dumping, you kind of also reacted toward him.
Well, yeah, and I did, and I called him a coward, and I used that word accordingly, because rather than him trying to figure out what was wrong with PDI, he just dumped everything and said, "If it fixes, I'll come back. If not, fuck off."
I remember that.
And it's like, okay, so you're the smartest fucking person on this entire chain, and you can't figure this out, but you're gonna tell me servicing and caddy can. And then that, I don't know what connections there. Like, I know they've talked in the past, but for them to do everything afterwards with ATROPA's benefit, I don't know if Maria was helping them or not. I don't know what background, conversations were there, but
Yeah. Yeah.
For James to do that, right, to just sell it all and bridge it out and say it's broken, fuck off.
Yeah. I remember that.
It just it didn't sit right, right, and that
Yeah.
was when I really started questioning a lot of how much of this is pre-planned, how much is actually known. This is just another step in the game. Like,
Let's get into it. I've thought
you know,
about all
'cause
those questions as well. I went through the
there
whole
was
thing.
just zero effort, right? Like
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
zero effort, and there was a little bit something there. Like Almighty sent a text and was like, "Oh, there's this exploit," and James was like, "Oh, I didn't even know about that," and then sold everything, right? And it's just like I just
Yeah.
like, if Almighty is the reason you leave your entire project and run away from pulsechain, then
That did not leave anybody feeling good at all, man. Um, so do you think they did that on purpose, or are they just that reactive of a person?
I mean, it, it looked like another shakeout. It just
The timing
it
of
didn't
it was uncanny.
appear as normal behavior, right? Like,
No, it didn't.
so if you needed a scapegoat or a good excuse to do something like that and create that FUD, that would be it. Especially if in the background there were talks with Surfacing and Caddy to be it help them or not. Like I said, I don't know who all actually figured that out. Like Caddy's a smart girl. I got no doubt that she probably did it. And Surfacing, he's a smart kid too. Like
Mm-hmm.
they both get code, so I have no doubt that obviously anyone was able to do it. It was very interesting the way it all went down.
That's an understatement. It was crazy. So, so all that went down. So you also commented on it, and that did James respond to what you had said?
No, so that was, I forget what he had made, like another IRC that people were chatting in for a minute, and so the second I said it, he banned me. So I pulled up another IP and went back in and got banned again. I
Oh
just
shit!
literally just new IP, coward, ban. New IP, coward, ban. I did it for about an hour just for fun.
Oh damn!
I mean, I got endless IPs, right? And that was pretty much it. After that, I was just like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I don't. I've never needed anything that wasn't on the blockchain. That's where I make my decisions. It's where I go for my fact checking, right? So
Yeah,
like being in these chat rooms, like the IRC was fun, right? But it was like every time he drops the N word, I just want to fucking turn it all off and sell everything I own, right? And after sitting down with that man in real life, like I don't feel like there's a racist bone in his body.
no, no.
But whatever forefront goes on in the IRC and all this other shit and the names of these tokens, and like if it's not to make people feel hatred or not want to participate, then I don't know what it is. And that can only mean that it's that good, right?
So all that happened, and yet, as mad, and I was mad too. I've expressed this as well, and I've said this on live streams when I chart ATROPA. I'm like, as mad as I was and hated James, I still did not change. My thesis didn't change on ATROPA at all. It changed on some other things, but not ATROPA and the other things connected to it, which was weird, which was fucking weird, to be totally honest. But it's interesting to hear a similar sentiment from you.
Yeah, I mean, it, I've been in crypto long enough that I don't flinch, right? So like when DAI went to zero, I just went and found my extra money and I started buying what I knew I didn't have my positions in that I wanted.
Uh-huh.
So some tokens, like the one that's just a little guy, just a head, arms, legs, like little stick
Yes.
man,
Yes, I remember that
one of
one.
the original ones. Like
Yes.
I'd always wanted a decent spot in that, but early on, I think I had a good spot, and then I sold it into one of the other ones, right? And
Yeah.
I just never got it back. So like that was one I went back, and I'm like $500, I think, at the time. I'm top holder. So
Wow.
like everything was down so deep that if you had extra on the sideline, it was just such a steal.
Man.
So I got some positions that I wanted. I definitely redid a lot of LPs. I did get emotional like everyone. I pulled my Teddy LP that I'd had for over a year and a half.
Mm.
And I did swing it for a better Teddy position, which is kind of what I wanted. That's why I pulled it at the bottom, because I knew there'd be the most Teddy in it. But
Teddy was a big one because that was a very popular meme, and obviously we saw that dump was very brutal, and a lot of people were hurt by that because a lot of people were really, it was a great meme. It was a great vibe. But obviously, like you said, you came back in and stronger. Do you think Teddy Bear is a future?
oh, absolutely. I doubled my Teddy position at the bottom.
I mean, they
A
were
trillion
literally.
wasn't enough, so I got a few trillion now. Like, it was hard not to, right? I mean, it got to like a $3 or $4 million market cap. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I remember me and Iron and a few of the other guys in the pub, man. Like when we first found ATROPA, we're going through all the tokens. Like there's screenshots in there of Teddy with one holder. Like
Mm.
he hadn't even add LP to it yet. He had just launched it, right? Like we
Right,
had
right,
all
right.
these things up ready to go. So it's like, something that long, and to watch it go from literal zero to 100 million market cap,
Yeah.
and still know the math behind it, and still know that it will and can go to $1 billion plus. Like it can blow away every meme there is, and you have to just remember it's because it has pulse underneath it. And not only does it have pulse, but it has pulse and ATROPA and DI underneath it. So it's like when pulse does its 10x and ATROPA does its 10x and DI does its 10x, like suddenly, bam, we're right back up at, if we're at 10 now, that puts us at a billion. It's 100x.
So a lot of people, it's funny because B Roots was very bullish on Teddy Bear, and he even went on Rand Nooner's famous crypto channel there. It's called Crypto Banter, right? And he talked about Bear, and he has never spoken about it since. And he actually went and made, I don't know if he made it or they made a copycat, right? And they call it Teddy Bear, Teddy or something. It's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? Because these were some of like the diamond hand OGs in Bear, and they just left it.
I mean, I always gave credit for B Roots being an influencer.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what he does. That's who he is, and he's good at it. I mean, at least he was. I haven't even seen his name around lately. But for the first year of pulsechain, you couldn't miss his name.
Right.
And
You could.
I forget what he blocked me for. He called me salty, shady, sunny for something, and I was like, all your subscribers are just whores. Like, which is a compliment, right? I'm calling him a pimp.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And he blocked me. I thought we were having some fun back and forth banter, but he never gave a shit about anything but his bags. Ian, I gave a little credit to. Ian wanted to learn. I remember early on in the MV days, Ian was like, "Yo, like after we talked, or me and B Roots, he messaged me on the side. Was like, what can you tell me about this MV or Tropa?" Like he had the will to learn, right?
Yeah, he's very curious. Yeah.
Uh, I was on their show twice, and B Roots was like, "Yeah, you want to come again? It's 10 grand." Like,
Oh,
it's just like,
oh shit.
no,
Okay.
you invited me on, and I'm here to talk about Atropa. I'm not here to shill A1A. Like, if you
Yeah.
want me to shill A1A, I'll sit here and shill A1A all day long. Like, that's my baby. But like, I'm literally just here to talk about Atropa. Like, Ian just asked me if I was the developer of Atropa, and you're like, "Give me 10 grand. You want to come on the show?" Like, come on, dude.
Damn, that's heavy. That's about the going rate. I think when I've reached out to random people in like Bitcoin or Solana or whatever, and they're always like, "Yeah, it's 15K to come on the show." I'm like, "Okay, bro."
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
heavy.
BSC top of the bull run days, maybe. Not now.
No. Yeah, there may be a time when that might make sense, but hey, it's their business, I suppose. Um, so they're out. They got out, or maybe they're holding, but they're just not talking about Bear. They made their own, which was weird because, like I said, he pitched it on Crypto Banter, and a lot of
Yeah,
people
if he
were
plays the
hurt.
game that he plays, he's sold out of the top.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I was a swing trader for all of my years until Pulse Chain, right? And then I found LP, and I still made a shitload here swing trading, but like, I was very active. Find whatever tokens just going, put 100 in, take out 110, wait for the dip. Put 100 in, take out 105, wait for the dip. It's just like overall trader just on small percent gains, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if if you keep some of those, if you don't take your profit out, you leave them there, and then profit selling up there. I imagine that he did all right. He did a video on a rented yacht with the rented babes.
Yeah, I remember at the top. Yeah. So Bear. So yeah, I'm still bullish on Bear. I don't see any issues with it. I think it was a great entry. That's still higher highs and higher lows. It's just moving up slowly again. It's at $14 million market cap. Is the chart gonna pull up? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's kind of just doing this right now. I'm waiting for that pop, but not quite the season yet for it.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's at the end of the day, that's 414. That's James's baby. That's his meme coin, right?
Yeah.
Like, ATROPA's ATROPA. It's the ecosystem. It's the main token. But like, he knows that this is where the volume comes. This is where people are going to go because it's cute and cuddly and it's our age. And TSFI just doesn't have the ring to it that Teddy Bear does.
Yeah, nothing's changed in that sense. Like, it's just a great meme, and you can't go wrong with it. Yeah. There's also BFF, which is the white bear that he made, which has been just nonstop. It's just moving up nonstop.
Yeah, BFF. I don't know. I mean, I did some early on moves with that. I don't hold any of it anymore. I don't think. I might have one somewhere, but like, this whole, it went on forever. It was like, all right, we're going to get it to 8K. We're going to add a bunch of liquidity that's going to come to the floor so that no one can ever sell it under 8K. And I think it may have still been the IRC, but like in a public chat, I was like, can we get like a versus pulse target? Because like, if you tell me we have an 8K floor and pulse goes down 50%, we just lost our 8K floor. If it goes up 2% or 2x, now we're at a 16K floor, right? So you can't put a $ target on a floor for something. It just doesn't work. Not unless you're, on the Bitcoin chain where you're not possibly going to do 10x this year, right? Bitcoin chain, like
but James must know that. James must know that, right?
Well, so he does, and he very flat out was just like, no, this is based on a $. And I was like, okay, like, if that's what you want to do, you can do it, but like, I'm out. Like, I'm done because I know how this works. And I mean, it's hit 8K once, maybe twice, I think, but it's too tied to other shit for it to have a floor like that.
Look, man, it's a smart chart. I'm going to show you this right here. I drew this live on my stream in the end of June, which was literally 2 months ago. And look, I drew this price action, okay? I haven't touched it. You guys can go back to that stream from 2 months ago. Look at it's literally what I drew is so perfect that it's covering all the candles. I drew this exact sketch live on stream from down here. And we were collapsing to this support, and I drew this. And I was like, it's going to do this. So it has been a machine. Like, it's just been phenomenal.
Yeah, no, OG Web Chef's got a bunch of his ecosystem tied to it as well, so he's always running volume through it and doing stuff with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so both those bears have been phenomenal. Now, ATROPA is just up into the right, and I called this inverse head and shoulders down here, and I drew this live. I haven't touched this arrow, and it followed exactly, and we've just been moving up. We had a nice fake out right here, but it reminded me of the like Bitcoin fake out this looks exactly like Bitcoin from 2022 up into the right. Not exactly, but it has some similarities in the price, in some of the market dynamics, I'll say. So it's just been and this was all the FUD down here back in March, April, all the madness down here, which was like the buy of, you got to buy back what we were buying in 2023. You got to rewind.
Oh yeah, time. We're over 15x from there. Like,
and it still seems very strong. They gave price. Now, James had given price targets for ATROPA. You remember that, right? You know what they are, right?
Yeah, I forget what the exact numbers are, but
chat. It was you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was $7.50. 750 price target. Now, if that's the case, this is just a baby. This is just starting out, and we got a long way to go. And what do you think about that price target, and like how fast that could happen? Is it
Again, like,
just a matter of pulse
I don't
going up
like,
in value?
yeah, I don't like James putting dollar signs on things because nothing that his code, like, there isn't a dollar sign anywhere in his code.
Got
And
you.
if you look at every one of his tokens, they're all in ratio to each other, right?
Right.
And so, like, if you really start looking in here, you'll find the penny, you'll find the nickel, you'll find the dime, the quarter, the dollar bill, the $5 bill, the $10 bill, the $100. Like, they're all there mathematically and in order and in sequence, right?
Right.
So, like, if his target for ATROPA is 750, it means that DAI is at something, right? Like, I don't know what that number is. Maybe it's like a dollar would make sense because that'd be 7.5. Actually, that's not far off. ATROPA to DAI ran at like five to seven per for a long time. Um, but it switches to just like where you look at it in the sense of the eco, right? Like, if fuck, I'd have to find my chart on this somewhere. But like, if ATROPA is, relative to the dollar,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to find the next one that's worth 10 times that, or has 1/10 of the supply. So, like, let's say TSFI was at $1.50 right now, and this is at a dollar. Actually, legal might be at like $1.50 right now, right? So whichever one's at $1.50 is at 10x up. That's
Mm-hmm.
your next step. Then you'll find your one at 10.50. That's your next step, right? Like, when James goes through, and in the past, the IRC people that I've ever seen him, like, oh, we're going to audit today. We're going to do an audit. We're going to do an audit, right? It's not like auditing code necessarily. He's actually going through and auditing relative positions on where things are at and what their ratios are, right? So if he wakes up one day and a ratio that's supposed to be 1 to 10 is at 1 to 11, then he's going to come and sell a little bit of something and buy the other one to get it back to its 1 to 10.
Is he doing that actively daily?
I haven't seen that type of auditing in probably pre-dump, like 6 months.
He used to do that. Yeah, he used to way back.
But if you get those LPs thick enough and you get those all, paired properly, you don't really have to do it manually anymore, right? Like, if they're all tied together so perfectly that when DAI dumps to zero and everything else, just falls in it because of our arbitrage and the way our LPs work, they'll all still be in a relative ratio, right? And he knows as time goes on, obviously, it's not something that's supposed to be manually, manually done, right? There's not even an automation. It's not like something that actually has to take place. Once it gets there and gets set and it's thick enough, it should just kind of stay that way.
Got you.
Unless, if someone came and bought $1 million of just TSFI, it's going to throw off a lot of those ratios, right? And TSFI would be way out. So he would probably come in and say, oh, I've got TSFI, or I'm going to pull this lick, I'm going to dump this and take this extra and get these other ratios back to normal. But without just crazy excessive buy or sell on one specific token, we see how the webs work, right? They all kind of have the same chart. They all just move together.
Yeah, yeah. And Frank White, thank you so much, brother. Got a super chat from Frank White. He says, this stream is approved by PLS Start. Right on, brother. Really
Yeah, Frank's got good stuff on PLS Start, too. If any of you guys listening need information or links or everything pulsechain, man,
Agreed.
He just nailed it and got it all.
PLS Start is awesome. So everybody go there. Great place to get everything's together. It's super easy to navigate the way he laid it out, just in the most simplest way. You can just get it on one screen, and like your eyes can just see kind of everything very quickly. It's really nice. So definitely check that out. Thanks, Frank. I want to ask you some hard questions, but like chat's really giving me a hard time. I think there's like over 3,000 people watching right now. Only 6 likes on the video. You guys got to be kidding me here. I can't put pressure on Sonny here if you guys don't show some support, man. Let's do it. Let's get some likes going here. Oh, shoot. I forgot the hard questions. Damn it. It slipped my mind. Maybe
I was getting prepped too.
you're warming up. 7 likes, not bad. Cool. So, do we get? Oh, we got some likes coming in. Chat, you guys are amazing. And out there in X, you guys are awesome too. We had some comments coming in from there, and so I guess. Okay, so I asked you. Okay, so we talked about teddy bear, and yeah, that was a big one because that was probably, even if people didn't have ATROPA, it was almost like everybody was buying bear. Even people outside of pulsechain were interested in bear. Like it was the meme, right? And so we talked about that a little bit. And why do you think people on pulsechain really dislike James? And I have a second part to that question too. But yeah, because he's still here. He came back, and ATROPA's doing great technically, right? So why do you think there's a lot of pushback on stuff that he's building over here?
Because people have to work for it. They have to click buttons. They have to do something more than be told where to put their money and how to make more. You have to actually learn and want to be part of this if you're going to do it. And people don't.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have a second part. I'm going to ask you that. But I got, who is this, Stu? Can you hear me? Who's Stu? Hello?
Disco Stu.
You know Stu? Is that somebody from the pub?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Stu's a good friend.
Stu, you're in the show. Can you hear me? He's working on it. Okay, let's let him figure this out. Stu, you can send me a message in Telegram if it's something on our end, but I think I've clicked all the right buttons for you, so as soon as I hear you, I don't know why how are you not coming in through Zoom? Oh, Stu, hang on one second. Let me give you another link. I think I know what's going on, brother. Hang on one second. I think I know what you did. Stu, I'm gonna put another link in the Telegram. Go ahead and sign out. I'm gonna click you out, Stu, and then follow the new link in. Okay, this link's not gonna work, so sorry about that. Go to the Telegram. I'm gonna put a fresh link in there. I know what's going on. All right, there you go. Ignore that link. Bad one. All right. You gotta work for it. Okay, so this is the big question. I'm just gonna ask it. Chat, control yourselves. Do you think that James and RH know each other and or might be working together?
I still don't think they do after all this time.
Really? And you answered that very easily.
Yeah. I don't. Obviously, I'm saying without doubt, James knows of RH, right? Like, he was in Hex. He's a mathematician. He's gotten into crypto. He understands code, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that they've ever sat at the same table, though, or, I don't think the connection's there. RH has mentioned ATROPA one time and gave it the same vibe he was giving Pete at the time, right? Like ATROPA, it's not verified and it's not renounced. And it's like, well, it is renounced, and who cares if it's verified? Like, but it's like, that's the only thing he's ever really said about it. And, from the guy that doesn't bring attention to anything to say don't do it one time, he acknowledged it, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Link's there. I could totally be wrong, but
there's a really big mixed bag on that. Yeah, Claudia says, yeah, I think so, that they might be communicating. So Claudia, when you say think so, do you think they know each other, or do you think they're communicating actively with each other? I think that's the thing. What's up, Stu? Give me a second here. I'll punch you in. Oh, can you hear me? Stu, by the way? You got your mic on? I don't hear you yet, so.
It looks like his mic's muted, but it looks like he's in here now.
Yeah, we got him in the green room. He's coming in multiple.
So we got two Stews.
We got two Stews. What's going on? Stu, go ahead and talk, brother.
There we go.
All right.
There we go. You guys can hear me now, right?
Yeah. Okay. Give me a second. I'll punch in.
Oh my God. I'm getting too old for this shit.
I was thinking the same thing. I made it though. I'm glad you did too.
Come on,
I'm
guys.
trying to hook up my AirPods to my laptop because it won't work on my phone. And then I realized I unlocked something on my phone. It was just like, okay, I'm here. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
We're doing great. We're doing great, man. Give me 1 second. It's not that hard, is it?
No, it's just, you know what? Vacation time, missed a couple of steps. It took me a bit to get back into it.
We're all a little rusty these days.
Oh man, I know.
All right.
But nice though. First vacation long where I don't have to worry about anything. So it's been kind of nice.
Well deserved too, man.
Exactly. Hey, Wolf, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, you got it, brother. I'm glad you're joining us. I'm going to punch you in right now. Ready?
Yeah, no problem.
And hello button. Oh, there you go. All right, welcome to the show, Stu.
This is James. James communicates to Coco on chain. I think that's hilarious. The amount of hate that James puts towards coexistent Steven, I just find very comical.
Wait, the message that derogatory message that James put toward Steven, is that the one?
Oh, but like it's not the first one. Like he's done it before.
Oh, has he?
I mean, he like there was an email chain, and like I said, I hadn't talked to him since I called him a coward, like back in March or whenever that dump was.
Right.
And out of nowhere, I get an email being like, "Go report coexistent Steven's videos." Like,
wait,
I remember that. It was hilarious.
Oh, it's so good. I was like, "What? Where is this even coming from right now?"
Dude, that's hilarious.
So Coco rocks it. I'll say that right now. Coexistence is putting out great videos. Like to watch him learn over the years and try and teach all of you and show you step by step is just phenomenal.
What's his thing with him, with Coco?
I don't know. Early on, like there was Maria is Bay stuff, and then somewhere like I want to say Maria called Coco faggot, or the other way. It was something happened in the IRC, and Coco just lost it. It was like, what? No, come on, like Maria's Bay, and it was like, all right, Maria's not Bay anymore. Like, fuck Maria. It's just been the fun and games over the last 2 years, you know, just the inside jokes, I guess.
Yeah. Sue, how do you guys know each other? You're from the pub, right?
Yeah, we just kind of, you know, I joined the pub, I think, during the whole run up, and I don't know, I kind of just listened to a lot of what Sonny had to really say, and I just kind of did the work, you know, and then we became really good friends through digging through the blockchain and doing a lot of stuff with the minters, the Federal Reserve stuff. So so it's been quite a journey, and it's been really nice, you know, having some really true friends here, and you know, guys that you know you can really trust and rely on. It's very uncommon to find in this space, and it's nice to have found that with these guys.
Cool.
And that's it's like myself, Sonny, and Ironclad. We've been kind of nice little unit there.
Nice, right on. So now that you're here, welcome to the show. I guess the most basic questions. What's your elevator pitch for ATROPA, man? Somebody's coming new to pulsechain, and they're like, hey, dude, what's ATROPA? How are you going to explain it to them real simple? What are you going to tell them what it is?
That's kind of a good question. Because, well, most of the people, I guess you kind of got to look at it like if someone's asking me that, they already know I'm in pulsechain. And
right. Probably, yeah.
I guess it's almost like it's kind of the same thing. Someone's saying, "Hey, I got $500. Where should I put it?" And it's almost like, well, you know, hey, there's a trophy ecosystem. Where should I put it? There's so many options. There's so many places, and it's such a big thing that like you almost have to kind of jump in yourself. So like it's a hard thing to really show to someone that like, doesn't really offer anything other than just, buy and hope that the price goes up because like, the coins don't do anything, right? We're no use value other than for us to use them for the minters and stuff like that. So I guess at the end of the day, if someone does ask me something like that, I guess where I'm gonna have to go is I'm gonna have to say, liquidities, um, talk about stuff like that. But it's so vast that like that question it's really hard to answer once you've kind of been in the space for so long because
But there's got to be
you talk
an answer. There's got to be a simple look, man. This is
that's
what
kind
it's
of the
So,
thing,
all right,
right?
there's a hard one here though, and I'll interrupt for a second just because, right? So this story goes for many people, right? If you've never heard of a trope, you've never heard anything, you're not gonna have a clue what I'm talking about right now. If you're deep in the midst of it, you're gonna laugh. And if you're just getting into like some treasury tokens and stuff, like maybe you'll have a clue, right? But like,
okay.
so me and Stu and Ironclad, like the three of us, like we're like determined, 24/7. We're finding out what this code is. We're finding out how it works. We're finding out everything about it. It doesn't matter what it costs. It doesn't matter anything, right? And this is before any amount of money, anything like that. It's just like it's gas money. That's all any of this is. It's literally a gas transaction. And so we're doing stuff, and we figured some things out. And I'm a little bit older. He said he was old. He couldn't figure out how to get in here, but this man uses the AI and the Claudes and the Chat GPTs and shit. So don't let him fool you. But we'll they'll put some code into that. We'll find something out. We'll find something out, right? And then there's one day like we're all chilling and we all watch Maria's wallets. We'll watch everything that's going on, right? It's me, him, and Iron, and we're all sitting there. And all of a sudden we're like, oh shit, like that's like $1 million right there. And we went and we just started just absolutely just attacking it and grabbing it, right? And then other people that also follow things, know what's going on, right? Like they were grabbing at it. So like there was a huge grab, and ultimately at the end of us, the three of us, because we know how to click buttons and we know how this code works, and we don't pay attention at all to dollar values of anything. It's literally, I just want more of these tokens. Like there's only so many in supply, and want as many as I can get, right? I mean, because of that, like in the course of 2 or 3 minutes, like all three of us went to millionaires almost instantly.
Really?
Because of what we had been doing for months for micro pennies, or using more gas than it even costs to make a play. So
Wow.
like, what is ATROPA? Like to me, like that's ATROPA, man. That's me and my boys working on something for months just to figure it out and click a button and be like, holy shit, boys, like play this right, and we're actually billionaires, let alone millionaires. Like billionaires is an absolute reality in what we've done.
Yeah. It was probably one of the most like, okay, well, you look at like the term tough, like, okay, like it was knowledge, like it was a tough puzzle, but man, like when you talk about rewarding, it was when we figured stuff out, it was fun. Like I almost would go back in time to do that again because how much fun we had doing that. But
So
yeah, man, I guess everyone has their own version of what a tropa is to them, you know?
yeah, I suppose. I mean, to keep it simple, I mean, for most people, they just want to know, is this a token that's valuable, that people will want, and then therefore the price will go up? Obviously, the chart is telling me that somebody's buying it. Well, there was actually some supply that was reduced as well, but I don't just see, that in the chart. I see genuinely people buying and it moving up on that.
And the thing is too is that we actively see James buying it up. You know what I mean? So like, it's kind of been proven that everything he usually buys up or does something with it, there's usually a purpose for it down the road.
Yeah.
Be it to use it of some sort. And I think for the last half a year now, he's might have done maybe a couple of tropa sales, but like everything he's done is just buy, buy, buy. So, and that's his baby. You know what I mean? So he's not gonna leave his special tokens, to die. And I guess that's kind of the tough thing with like this space is you kind of have to find the ones that you want to fall in love with in a sense, because like I don't really have BFF other than a couple of liquidity tools, but like I have a lot of like treasury bill, Fed, and stuff like that, and then like teddy bear, and then like where someone's the complete opposite, right? And it's just but the math is the same everywhere you go in this ecosystem. So that's kind of the nice thing about it. Basically, like you can win everywhere. It's almost like it's PvP in a way, but like it's more PvE than anything, And it's basically you versus yourself at the end of the day.
I think people are chat's gonna want you to break that down a little bit. That's kind of a cool point. But really quick, Turk, take it easy, bro. You got a bone to pick. What's going on? Why does this guy Turk Montana? I know Turk. Why you got a bone to pick, bro? You kind of spoke your piece, but what's going on? I think you're kind of getting emotional out there.
I don't actually read the chats or anything, but people always like to think that they're better.
I mean, we openly said don't buy a coin for about half a year, and people bought it. So maybe that's it. I don't know.
But we've been doing that in the pub since the LUSD days when we told them not to buy that. Heck, I told people not to buy PDI.
We'll love to touch on PDI a little bit because it is connected to ATROPA. Crypto Artie, what's up, brother?
When I say don't buy it, I'll say learn it. If you don't learn it, I'll teach it to you. Like, people always ask, what? Why don't you tell somebody? I could tell every one of you what to do, and you'd all listen. But can any of you tell me what to do and have me not laugh at you? Like, you have to really, truly get to understand and know what's going on here, right? Like, me and Stu could sit here and have a conversation back and forth about treasury tokens and multipliers and how this shit works. And I'd be surprised if any of these comments were anything relative, right? Like, there's so much here that's just so way over people's heads that, I don't know. It's an intro into people that have a little gumption that might go look for more, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. People will always be assholes in the comments, though. That's always going to happen.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of that on there for sure. But okay, so Stu, you were saying about
I can't remember either.
What's that sentiment? Because I was like, okay, Chad's gonna want to know clarity on the point you were making there. It was about, you were talking about understanding it,
right? And
people didn't understand it, and that if they did, they would make a lot more money. Something to that effect.
What
are they missing? But just tell them what they're missing. What are they missing?
I guess it's kind of the same thing Sonny kind of touched on. Like, someone comes to me with $1,000 and says, "Hey, like, what do I buy?" I could probably give you 10 tokens that I would say buy, but at the end of the day, I don't really want to do that. I would rather people actually learn it because there's more into it, and like, there's money to be made everywhere in this chain that, like, I even forget there's so much flying around.
Yeah, there's definitely,
and that's with a lot of and that's with the minters. Like, there's basically ARB anywhere. There's a lot of ARB too, just between the from ETH pairs that are on Ethereum bridged over, back and forth and stuff like that. So, like, I mean, that's only going to last so long with the price of ETH going up. You have to make sure that the math is profitable, but, like, still, the opportunity is there for anyone that wants it.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but a lot of people are going to say, especially regarding ATROPA, like, hey, Why am I going to learn this when this person could have a spaz attack tomorrow and start dumping everything? What do you say to that? Because that's what I hear. That's what people
Can I cut in?
You know what I'm saying. You've heard it.
I like to zoom out, right?
Yeah.
I want to zoom out, though. And the
Okay.
reason I want to zoom out is because, like, let's go to this conversation. What's better, Pulse or Pulse X?
Oh, interesting. What's better? Oof. I don't know. Maybe Pulse X right now seems better. Or looks very strong. I don't know if there's a right answer.
Well, Pulse itself, so Pulse is mintable.
Yes.
Does that change your answer?
Okay. Okay.
Pulse,
So
Pulse X is not mintable, but Pulse is mintable. Does that change your answer?
So if I'm just going as like a noob, and I'm just thinking, if I'm just hearing all this, what would I think? I would think, oh yeah, then I want Pulse X.
Right. So for me, as a liquidity provider, I go, oh, it's mintable? I want the Pulse.
Oh, you want the one that's mintable?
Right. Because you're literally going to mint them out of free air and just give them to me. Anytime there's a price discrepancy, you're just going to mint them, put them in there, take the other thing that you feel is worth more, and the price is going to be exactly what it should be, but there's going to be more of the token I want in it, which is Pulse. Right? So Pulse, Pulse X. They're different tokens. Is one better than the other? It depends on what you're looking at. This is the liquidity chain, though. This is Richard Hart's chain, and he'll tell you it's a liquidity chain. You want to know what's really good? The two assets that are hugely bonded together in liquidity basically share the same price movement, although I'm sure someone will respond to that with a chart going, oh no, look, they were 10 to 1 and then 2 to 1 and 1 to 1. Great. Ratio trade all day long. And a ratio trade's any trade because there's always a ratio, but buy low, sell high. However, if you put the two together in LP like you should have on day one, then you're earning your APR on both of them. It's pulse chain, right? You don't have to have PLS or PLSX. You put both of them in LP, and you can actually take that PLP token and put it against DAI or Pulse, right? And have a dollar value. It's going to give you the cumulative value of Pulse, Pulse X. Then you own a token that's now earning you. Honestly, I haven't looked in months, so I'm not even going to guess what the APR is, but it's more than just holding either one of them in your wallet. And there was definitely times where it was 10, 20, 30, 40%. So like it was 40% very early on, obviously smaller pools, bigger percentages, but more and more people added that V2 Pulse, Pulse X pool. I wonder if I can pull it up. Let's see.
Oh man, I remember it used to be way up there.
So
I didn't have a dollar at all to put it in there at one point, and it was kind of something I wish I knew at the time. But I guess it's kind of crazy how far you come, right? At the end of the day.
Crypto Artie, what's up, brother? I didn't forget you, man. We got a big super chat came in from Crypto Artie. He says, visions of an epic ATROPA P-Dye peg party in Australia. The most epic celebration in all of crypto. Thanks, brother. I am gonna ask them about P-Dye. We'll get there for sure. And, thank you
that
so
would
much
be a
for
great
super chat.
party, but I hate to ruin your party and tell you that ATROPA will never peg to P-Dye.
Yeah. Should we talk about that?
There is no ATROPA peg.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. Yeah, we have to.
Oh, absolutely.
If chat's ready for that, you guys smash the like button.
Yeah, let's see some more likes before we start talking about that. I'll do that.
No, so I did just look, and
Okay.
the PulseX website isn't showing percentages, but the PulseX Pulse pair on V2 says 500 million in volume on the 24-hour on an $8 million pool. So that's got to be a pretty decent APR.
Wow. Which pool was that? Yeah.
PulseX on V2.
Oh yeah.
I want to say it was 20% the last time I looked at it in the farms. If that's what you're. Oh no, never mind. I know what you're
No, it's
talking about.
V2. It's the V2.
Yeah,
It's
forget
not
about
the farm.
Yeah, forget what I'm talking about.
Early on, like when we first started switching, when they kind of started screwing with the farms and we moved over, it was like 40% for a few months, like solid. And then it went down 30, 20, 10. I imagine it's probably around the 10s right now, but the website just doesn't show anything. But 500,000 24-hour volume on a 7-8 mil LP. That's got to be 10% ish. And that's on a low, slow day on a Wednesday, you know. So I'm not worried about it. I love that LP position.
That's funny. Every time we talk, Sonny, I always know I need more or something. Every
Always need
time.
more of something.
I'm like, damn. You know what? It's like I gotta start selling some more, some other favorable tokens for some more ratio tokens, you know?
So besides LP, for the just holders out there, which one do you like, Pulse or PulseX? Now that we brought that up.
Mathematically, I have to go with PulseX.
Yeah, I'll have to say PulseX too.
Yeah. Yeah, the chart is also...
I'd have to... We were talking about this the other day, and I don't think anyone's done it. And if anyone out there has seen it, I'd love for you to share it with us, or someone can make it maybe. Somewhere there needs to be a chart of how many tokens went to wallets in the sacrifice for Pulse and PulseX, and how many of those tokens have left those wallets into an LP pool. Not a wallet to wallet, not a wallet to, like, we just need an idea of what percentage of non-RH airdrop tokens have not been sold into LP.
Okay.
Because much like the
Chat,
PRCs, like the copy tokens,
yeah,
there's a percent, right, that are outside of LP that have never been sold into the LP. So it's like, why would I add LP to this thing when these people are just going to sell it and take their free money, right? It's the same exact thing. But there becomes a point that you sell 50% or more, and the pendulum swings kind of at the bottom, because now your buy pressure can actually start to outweigh your sell pressure, because if half the tokens are on the market available or have been bought, and the other half have been sold, like half people are done and gone, the other half are obviously long-term holders and may hold forever. But there's a pendulum swing there, and it's the same with those PRC copies. Like, you're good in LP until the majority of those are sold, and that's when you actually want to yank your LP so that you can get all those tokens out and back in your wallet, and then actually ride the other side of the pendulum swing up.
Interesting. Chat, you guys.
So it's almost like it's kind of like as if imagine if every one that was a airdrop the token essentially just dumped their tokens, then all those are in LP, and basically you could just start buying those up without worry of anyone dumping them on you, right? So it's kind of, I guess I think that would be a friggin' awesome idea. Literally, might be a project I have to do soon once off vacation.
If you zoom out and look at it, it's the world's largest fair launch, because you're taking all these tokens and you're slowly selling them into an LP pool and allowing people to buy it at whatever price they want to in this range before they just sell all of them, and then no one can sell anymore. Now it has to go fucking up. My token Math, right? I launched one M, it was a lowercase m, big ATH, or big M, low ATH, but Math, right? And when it launched, it went 1% into LP with 99% in the dev wallet. And the dev wallet went there and it sat and it sold like 1%, like nuke it to zero, add to LP, sell the next, sell, like that was the math behind it. And
this one?
like a ton of people got super. Let me see. No, that's all capitals. It may or may not have a chart. All it does is it buys a PLP token that is basically a collective of 24 of my other tokens into one PLP. That definitely looks way more like it. Yeah, buddy. So
I love that token.
It's a buy and burn for the entire ecosystem, and nobody was ever meant to buy it. It wasn't shilled to buy. There was a few people that Haggard kid. If you've ever run into Haggard in Telegram, what an absolute wretched human being that is, right? Like 2 years later, he's still like, yeah, what about math? You dumped on all your people. And I was like, no, I put 1% into an LP and I sat there and I swapped it into other tokens in the ecosystem and added them to LP. And it was funny because it's literally the same exact thing that Maria does every day. That goes back to a question earlier. Why people hate Maria? Because Maria launches tokens and then dumps them on your heads, right? I did it one time with one token and caught shit for it. Maria literally does it every single time and then tells you and shows you how to do it yourself. And then people still buy these tokens when he launches new ones and wonder why they get dumped on because they don't see he has 99% of supply and keeps dumping it on them, right? And it's never a for-profit thing. It's always into something else in the eco that you then add the LP to. So from a developer standpoint, every time you create tokens, you create money out of thin air. If let's go say you make 1,000 tokens, you pair it with 1,000 USD, right? One token to 1,000, right? Then you go sell the other 1,000 into it and take the 1,000 USD out. You basically now have a fair launch, right? All your tokens are at the bottom, and you could literally probably buy all 1,000 of them for a penny. And that's how people whale stuff, right? CTOs are the one guy that caught the bottom, did the CTO. It was like, all right, everyone else buy this bag. I bought 95% of the supply for a penny, Like, it's as unfair as it seems. It's truly the fairest launch there is. You don't put all of the tokens available for the bots to buy in the first block, right? You put a couple there that they can buy at the price that's determined. They're allowed to make those decisions, right? And then you come in and nuke it so that the people that literally were just there for nothing but greed lose, right? And now they're mad because they didn't get to rape you. They got raped instead, That's how Maria launches tokens. So that's probably why a lot of people don't like the ways, and that's why they don't like my math token. But 1 out of 42 for me ain't bad.
Interesting. Stu, I see you joined our Telegram, which is at St. Wolf Vision. So anybody in chat, if you guys have questions, you can tag probably Stu or go right to Sonny's Pub, because I know this is some really interesting stuff, what they just shared. If you guys didn't understand that, definitely ask some questions, and they'll be able to answer them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Don't DM me privately. Just ask me flat out in the chats, because that's your best way to get in hold of me. I don't answer DMs. It's got to that point.
So do it in the Telegram general chat.
Yeah. All right. Keep it open. You know what? It's one of those things that is like, if you ask a question, that might be a question that someone else wants to ask themselves but doesn't have the balls to, or it's something that everyone can learn. So I like to keep things open. We want to teach everyone. That's kind of the whole point of this thing. Basically, I guess I'm going to go back to Coco for a sec. He really took the time to grasp all the knowledge out of all the minters, and he was able to, portray it very, very professionally, that if you follow along, you'll be able to figure it out.
Right.
And
right.
I got to give my hat off to him. That's not easy to do. So, he did the work. So that's hats off to him.
So let's get right into some ATROPA Alpha. Stu, I was asking Sonny before you joined the show. So, James had given some price targets for quite a few of the tokens, and obviously ATROPA is $7.50. I believe it was $7 or $7.50. What do you think of that price target for ATROPA?
See, I'm another one of these guys. I'm not a fan of the price target, because it's just I'm in a different situation now than I was, then, and I didn't get into a lot of these things early and stuff like that. So I missed out on a lot of these things. So it's I don't know. I kind of had to learn to get myself out of the hopium and the big numbers, or where it could go. Could we get there one day? Absolutely. But I got to turn it off when it comes to price targets, because if we hit that, everyone who was early made it, which is how it should be. And if you really believe that's where it's going to go, I wouldn't say that should be your your buying point, but like everyone's in it for a reason, right?
Yeah, I mean, people want to know is their money going to be treated well in this asset, right? And there's so much, you know, so much mystery around ATROPA and a lot of, you know, very polarizing views about it, right? And James's behavior.
Okay, so I kind of get what you're trying to say. So I guess I'll give you a token that I guess I'm kind of heavily involved in with the ecosystem is the Fed, and I know that's been tossed around a bit here and there. So obviously, Sonny mentioned that we were able to mint a bunch of it, and we were kind of able to add LP, do some things with it, kind of get it off the ground. And I even remember talking to Maria, and they were saying, okay, well, you know, this wallet has this much, this wallet has this much, and I was basically saying, well, no, that's us. We want to actually make this thing something. And it was kind of like okay, you know. And since then, I've seen him add LP. He doesn't dump it unless he's moving stuff around. It's, you know, so we've kind of built, I wouldn't say trust, but like some form of like a good working relationship, saying like, no, the evidence is there on the blockchain if you want to be greedy or not. So anyone can basically go check and see what anyone's done. But like, I think when it comes to that, there's a little bit of like a working trust between us in a sense. So we know that we're like, okay, like there's not greed involved. We have to get up to treasury bill to be 1-on-1. That's basically the selling point everyone drives, is that like until we get to treasury bill and Fed being 1-to-1, then it's not really something that, you know, should be minted until then. So it's like, that's, I guess, a goal where you can kind of look at it where ATROPA doesn't have that right now. But if you're kind of saying that like people are worried about their money, well, I would like to think that some people have some good intent and some people actually want to see everyone do well. So it's hard to say that you have to trust, because in the end, this whole thing is a risk game. Investing is a risk game, so you can never really fully trust the process. You just have to really trust in what you're doing. I know I'm kind of back and forth rambling, but I kind of hope that answers a little bit. So it's,
Yeah, I hear you. Why do you think some people, and I kind of asked Sonny this earlier, like why do you think people feel confident about James, even with all their crazy erratic behavior or dumping phases that they've been through? Why do we still feel this way about James? And some people don't. Right?
well, you know what, we see it for what it is. There's the potential there, and you know, and I guess that's what it is. There really is the greater potential. Like, we all know that everything's webbed together, so that like if one thing goes to parity, it's all going to parity. In a sense, yeah, they're going to be selling this and that, but like when things actually get to the point, it might be like, you know, equilibrium across, like, you know, all the chains where everything has to be at the same price. Maybe we get to that point, maybe we don't. I don't know, but there is that thought that eventually we should get there just based on the math.
So based
And
on
that's
that, AI Addict says ATROPA can't break at this point. It's integrated in a pulsechain.
100%.
Some people feel totally different about that. That talk to me, because I'm very bullish on ATROPA, but other people are like, dude, it needs to go away. But AI says it's integrated in the pulse chain.
It's not going away.
Why not?
And then you got to look at everything that's attached to it, and it's a web. You know,
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, hey, like my coin's not attached to this, and this, but like when Pete and I had the big maker thing, why did the whole eco dump? Well, because Pete and I was heavily attached to DAI, which is heavily attached to pulse chain. So like basically they were just draining the chain, which is dumping the price of everything that it was attached to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the more money we keep having come in, it basically, I think in time we'll catch up if Richard Hart does it right. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, we're you know what? You want to talk about like speculation, and you know, I know I was listening to the chat before, and we've all been there. We've all been the Telegram warriors, the Twitter warriors. Buy this, buy this, buy this. Um, like I've even made so many Twitter accounts that like I even thought it was like a part-time job for a time. But that was a different time. And those coins die every hour, but at least here, with the way liquidity works, like, everything's got a chance. And there's more opium here. There's more maybe mathematical hopium, and let's say there's more opportunities. And actually, you know what? There 100% is way more opportunities on this chain than most if you play the game correctly. Because, like, I don't know a chain that has 25% swings on a daily basis when we're in a bull run. I think you're lucky to get 25%, like if you're, buying XRP or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we're talking like low liquidity, so these things can go a lot higher, a lot quicker. Like I think Bitcoin after Richard Hartek there, the rat Bitcoin, I think what did that go up like 90% in the hour or something like that?
Yeah, it was
right, or not, maybe not that, but it went up. It went up a lot. So like that just kind of goes to show you there's a lot of money to be made in our chain, and we understand that. And I think if you've been here, you know that like there is money to be made. So like I guess that's why it's hard to leave this chain, because like it's an awesome chain, dude. Especially if you've been to Ethereum, BNB, you've done the hunt for the last couple of years. This is comfortable. It's home,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So speaking of RH, I know I do want to, if you guys are up for it, we'll go into some of the stuff Artie brought up with PDI, and we can talk a little bit about PDI because I think it's important, especially concerning ATROPA now and with some different things. You guys might have some insights, but really quick, how do you think RH is handling everything? How do you think it's going from that perspective with pulsechain? Is he doing all right?
I think he's got a plan. He's got a date. He's had this plan figured out for a while, and we're not going to know what he does when he does it. And hey, he might not even do anything, really. But like at the end of the day, it's just basically if he does nothing, does it fail? Who knows? That's something I don't know. But I think he's in a great place. You ask me.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah. Oh, hands down. Look at that. He's wanted Ethereum to go up for 3 years now since we've launched, and we're finally starting to really go up, and we're in an Ethereum bull market, or maybe this cycle's shorter. Who knows? The players are different now. BlackRock's in the game. They own all the Bitcoin. So it's different, right?
Okay.
Much as people like to talk in cycles and they like to look at history does have the tendency to change itself, especially when something's only how old Bitcoin? Like less than 20 years old. There's a lot of influence that can hit that really quick, and we are seeing that with what's happening in the world.
You gentlemen think RH is going to come back streaming anytime soon? It's not that hard a question.
No,
I thought you.
I'm not going.
I thought you were RH. Where are we? What's going on?
I'm not coming down hard on you guys. Come on.
I personally don't think so.
Yeah.
I think all of us left our expectations at the door where we should have.
Yeah.
And man, if he ever does come back, I would be curious to visit your prior question and see if there is a Maria James connection. I like I said, I feel like there is not. Whether or not there has been one made since the inception and launch could be a whole different story. Maybe they've gotten in touch with talked, but when I had coffee, not this last January, but the one before, and asked that question, I got this little James smirk of a no that was like, I believe you, but there might be a non-disclosure act there. I'm not sure.
Got you. I feel like I've seen a similar question dropped, and I remember. I feel like I know the smirk you're talking about. Yeah, it was loaded.
He's just got this like, it was like I asked. Actually, I don't know if it was. I think Freedom asked if he knew RH, and he had that smirk. I asked what MV was, and like the smirk I got from MV was like, oh yeah, like no, you don't want to mess with that. And I was just like, well, I own 54% of it, so and we just left it at that. Like we had no more discussion on it. And I was like, I still don't know what it is. At the time, right, year and a half ago, I was like, I don't know what it is, but like there's something about this. I ain't giving it up, and I never did. I put over 1 billion pulse into my MV position, and at the bottom it was worth like $1,000.
Wow.
And held it, added to it, still have it. It's MV is probably the most valuable token in the ATROPA ecosystem.
Really?
Without a doubt, if you understand token counts, right? If you watch dollar signs all day long, you're gonna be like, why would I ever buy this damn thing? But as far as even LP, in LP it might not necessarily make you money, but it will burn anything it touches in LP. So if you want to get rid of something else, pair it with MV.
Interesting.
Well, it's kind of funny. Wolf, have you been keeping up with like the streams Maria's been doing when they're doing like the live coding and all that stuff?
I've caught a little bit of it. Let's talk about it. But hang on, I got somebody coming in the green room right now. Arthur, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Cool. Let me plug you in. Hang on a second. You want to join, right?
Sure. I got a little bit.
All right, let's plug you in, man. Let's get you in here. Cool. All right, I'm gonna plug you in. Hang on. All right, what's up, Arthur? How are you?
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah, Stu. Yeah, tell us what's going on with these videos, because they're pretty heavy, man.
Well, I don't know like a lot because like even I'm kind of I'm in and out. I pop in for maybe a couple seconds. I hear strawberry shortcake going on in the background, then I'm like, yeah, I don't have time for this right now. But they're coding, and essentially what they're making is, I guess, from I think what they've said, emails and maybe even just publicly, is it's a WM client. Well, WM is like another name for MV, which I guess they essentially call waste management.
Mm-hmm.
So if I kind of had a bottom bet, like I have a feeling they're probably going to do something with MV. And like I said, listen, do not run with that information, this and that. But like when you call something like after a token and you're building something after, that's got to be something, right?
Yeah.
But with that being said, that's what they're doing. They're creating something right now, and no one has any idea what this is. So it's kind of exciting to know what the next steps might be. Because
who's they? James?
Maria 5 James. I always say they just because honestly, I'm Canadian. I guess maybe it's just something that burned into my skin. Right. But I think it's just proper. It's just something I just do. But
so you think James is up to something, and that's what they're trying to share. That's what he's been trying to share with everybody a little bit.
Oh yeah, well, everything has to be connected in a way, because like, why sit there and pump out 10 tokens that are connected in a row that aren't going to do anything? Well, they might have a purpose maybe down the road in whatever they're building, but who knows? But like, maybe it's just to get people. I don't know, but there's so many things they launch, and then next thing you know, they'll come back to. And if you would have sat there and maybe just bought in the bottom or held or paid attention to one of the tokens, but like the problem that they have 1,000 token, then you do a quick 10x as soon as they start pumping the price, because the liquidity is so thin. But like, it's just you know, that's the game, and it's kind of that's kind of the thing with Maria is you never know where they're going with it, and that's kind of what makes it exciting in a way. So like, and I guess that maybe that's I guess the thing about the selling point about Atropa. I guess let's just kind of go back to that question you had because now I'm kind of on a roll here. So like, if you follow Maria and you truly believe in what they're doing, the problem is you can't just have someone come in and say, hey, like with the Tropa, you could say, hey, like, well, this is what they're doing, this, and they're probably going to look at you like maybe maybe you're a genius, you know, because you're speaking, you know, Chinese to them basically. But but we basically watch this because we're like, what's next? What's next? What's next? That's why when they launch something, everyone buys it. They get salty that it dumped because you look at, you know, what Atropa did, what Teddy Bear did, what TSFI did, what BFS done. You know what I mean? So it's like everyone wants the next one, and that's I don't know. Maybe Maria's created a casino of some sorts. Maybe that's why we're in Atropa. You know, because we know the opportunity is there for anyone to truly make it in a matter of a couple clicks, right?
Yeah.
But it's not, you know. So maybe I guess call it safe gambling in a sense where it's like at least, hey, you know, the house always wins.
Safe.
Maria's tokens are always going to go up in a way, but you want to be in the right tokens, and that's the game you have to play.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, when you zoom it out a little bit, like you just bought a little bit of casino. You know, it ain't like your necessary casino where you just take in some things and you get percentages. That'd be more LP. LP is like a casino on pulse chain. You're just you're gonna take all day long, and the price is gonna go up, so you're gonna make more. But with the Tropa, you know, it's a little far fetched. But throw it into an LP, right there with you. The LP is the casino all day. You just own the house and you just make the bank all day long.
I remember LPing when INC, when everything launched. I don't know how much I agree with doing that, as INC was one of my favorites, and look how it shot up to 75. So I gave up my INC for.
Here's the question though, right? Like, are you still holding your position? Because if you had gotten Pulse and Pulse X in the farm,
I dropped my LPs before the rewards, way before. But you know, I got hex staked, and I'm happy with
right,
my other
like,
backs, but I don't
my
have
wallet
LP anymore.
I'd have to do exact math, right? I don't have it in front of me, but on if you took your Pulse and your Pulse X and you just put it into the farm when the farm launched, if you're still holding that to that day, not only do you have
you know what's funny?
Well, hold on.
You know
not
what's
only
funny?
do you have your initial,
I have neither both. I have
no,
neither or.
what's really funny though is me not telling a story because you cut me off, right?
So okay,
like,
go ahead.
I get that you're a paper-handed weekend, like, you know. Like,
Oh yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, 7 years into crypto, I'm definitely paper hand. You're right.
Obviously, or you'd be rich.
Okay, well, rich to me is glorifying Christ. If you want to talk about being rich,
I'm talking about glorifying, right? So if you've taken your Pulse and your Pulse X and you have put it in the most prosperous liquided farm in all of crypto, not only would you have more than your initials out just in ink, but you would actually have more Pulse and Pulse X in your LP position, even though it's in V1 where you don't earn coins.
Even right now? Or are you talking about like the first year and a half?
The entire time.
The entire time.
The entire time. You remember we were talking about the pendulum swing?
Yeah.
All these coins that were never in an LP, they're getting sold into LPs.
Mm-hmm.
Where do those go? The LP providers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So zoom way back out. Day one, if you put one Pulse and one Pulse X in and no one else ever added liquidity, and all these people have been trading billions of coins ever since, you'd now have billions of coins, right? You wouldn't care if Pulse went down 50% from sack rate. You just have a billion times of the coins, right?
Yeah.
That's how this game works.
I'm happy for you, buddy. You know, it's funny because everyone has its own journey. Not too long ago, Peacock, as I was never involved, but you could see the gains that occurred from there. PI. Everyone's
I
had
get that. And it's not about
many opportunities of gains from either LPing, holding on, whatever. Pulse chain to me is awesome, and whichever way you want to make money, God bless you. That's all.
LPing's been really good. I've
No
done really
hate.
well and I earned
Yeah.
a lot of ink. You know, and I don't know. I made earned a lot of ink, and even the Pulse X farm was really great. Yeah, I was in there from the beginning. Yeah, it's been really good.
anyone that got in day one, if you're still holding now, you have more money in ink than your initials. And you still have your position, and you have more pulse and more pulse X than you put into the position. Now, granted, your dollar value on that position might be down because we're half sacked.
Yeah.
But if you have 25% more coins, you're only down, say, 25 or 30%. And the ink that you've earned since then is worth more than whatever your sack was.
Yeah. And really quick, since we're talking about LP and ink, what do you guys think about ink? Because that's a big reward.
I think until Richard Hart actually talks about it,
yeah,
it's just a coin that just can be minted and sold, and basically just plays the LP game, where the only way, if you really want to
just typical
get the
farm
gains off it, is basically have it in liquidity, right? You get exactly right. Like anything that can be farmed, basically you want to have an LP of that if you want more of it.
Fair enough.
Anything that can be minted, if you want more of it, you want to create LPs. So as things get minted and people sell it, it goes into your LP.
So there's a little bit of a difference there, right? It is minted. However, most of the mints that we do these days, we have to give something for, as far as treasury tokens and ATROPA goes, right? Because a lot of us are doing minting these days. When you farm that mint, you have to stake, right? So there's obviously there's going to be a third-party risk if you stake your tokens that they're sitting on a contract, be it that it's Pulse X and we trust it or not, right? When we mint in ATROPA, I just say I take token A, I give it to you, and you mint me token B, right? When we farm, we say I take token A, I put it with token B, you give me Pulse X LP token C, which I then put in this thing to get token D, right? Like, it's a whole different thing. So, like, to answer your question, you know, what spawned all that, as far as what I think of ink anyway, ink it's your reward for farming, and that's it. It's meant to be sold, it's meant to be earned and sold.
Gotcha.
When will that change? And this question you can relate to ATROPA. When will things change? When is there buy pressure, right? Things only go up when there's buy pressure.
Yeah.
Nothing in ATROPA has buy pressure. There's no need for it.
100%.
Ink does not have buy pressure. There's no need for it. We know from looking at the code in ink that ink is the DAO. It is the voting token for the farms, right? So if we want to see things in the future go to the farms and pay out ink, we will have the rights to vote on them. All right, he's a smart man. He knows we're not smart enough to handle that power yet, so he hasn't given it to us. However, when that day comes, our ink will be worth something as voting power in the DAO. That will give it some buy pressure. Is that enough? No. Why? Because it needs more buy pressure to be a rewards coin.
100%.
What's the rewards coin? The speculation is the wallet. The fees from the wallet will buy and burn ink. And then that gives incentive again for people to actually stake things that are in the farm, like Pulse and Die, so that they can get a decent reward that has endless buy pressure.
Damn. Chat, you guys hear that? That's some crazy alpha.
It's funny. I've literally been hearing about the ink wallet for a long time now, and it's just like, you gotta wonder who started that rumor, and it's just there's a reason why someone started that rumor.
There's a video. You go back. You could probably YouTube Richard Hart ink wallet, and he says, "Wouldn't it be cool if there was a wallet that bought and burnt a token that was used to incentivize LP provide?" Like, word for word. It's like, oh, that's this.
I remember.
You know
something
what?
like that.
Yeah. You know what? I did forget about that. I apologize. Yeah, you know what? Never mind. There is no speculation. If he's talked about it, it's something that he definitely 100% thought about doing. I love that. That's just, fuck, that'd be awesome. I can't wait to see that.
That would be awesome. I think there's a lot of amazing surprises coming out. Really amazing surprises. And he's just...
Well, like, think about it. Like, everything's been out long enough. So like, we had a good run with Ravi where, Ravi would show you every little thing that you were doing, and then MetaMask had a good run, and then there's a couple other wallets. Like I've only used those two, but I'm sure that he's taken the best out of each one of these things and he's applied it to his. Like I hope for a fact that this does come to light, and he has one because it's always nice to use new things, right? And go up.
Okay, guys, we got to do this. We got to ask the really tough questions right now.
What direction are you back?
Oh, absolutely.
Chat,
I'm ready.
If you guys are ready, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel at St. Wolf Vision, Telegram as well. And of course, you know what we have here. Sunny Day from Sunny's Pub. We got Stu, who I'm actually meeting for the first time. And we've got Arthur here. Everyone's friends of the channel. Everyone knows where I met everybody. It's no surprise. I used to make a lot of PDI videos. I was really into ATROPA from the very beginning. I made a video called ATROPA, the Wall Street of crypto, when I started understanding liquidity webs and what was happening, because I have a lot of experience on Wall Street, and I started to see kind of a picture forming of what it could be. But let's just talk about it. So PDI, we know that James was not happy or confused whether it was part of market making and they knew something they're not telling. We don't know, but we know their actions, and that was to dump a lot of things. So let's go back to that time. Let's just understand, or maybe just get some opinions from you guys. What's your take now with PDI and its relation to ATROPA and pulsechain? Whichever one of you wants to go first.
Well, I guess you got to look at its use case. So I wouldn't say from the get-go. I guess like from the get-go, it was always pushed to being like something that he was going to use or promote or push or something like that, right? Or it was going to be something to do with Maker. Well, if it was someone figured out something in Maker and just ran with it, whether that was him or someone who really knew the system. But like, I mean, I took the time to dig into it, and even I could kind of see the bigger picture of how someone could do that if they knew and spent the time to really do it. So it's like, I've had speculations whether it's been RH kind of pushing people for, a solution, or just someone that was really, really fucking smart and that was able to just basically exploit, and he was just pointing it out, right? And, we kind of all just, I don't know. I guess there's a couple ways to look at that. But at the end of the day, PDI not being minted anymore.
Yes.
The use case for it
Amen.
has died.
Mm-hmm.
Being the whole thing around it was, hey, we're going to build a P maker, this and that. And I never followed the PDI chat and stuff like that. But like, you got to remember there was a use case being pushed. It's going to be put in the farms, this and that. Like, so there was buy pressure, there was hype, and basically we had everyone talking about it. And so that's going to build the narrative behind it. Now, I couldn't tell you what it's going to be used for other than it just gets dragged up when, James starts buying ATROPA because it's so heavily attached to it.
Do you have any?
Or when people start buying WBC because it's so heavily attached to it, right? Until Richard Hart actually makes a use case for it, it's just, I think, going to be part of Hart's Law, where unless there's a reason people buy it, it's just going to get dragged up. If you look at the ratio, well, if someone's buying ATROPA, well, ATROPA's going up versus PDI. So, you're kind of losing on that ratio trade if you're trying to trade backwards. So it's just, but who knows, right? We can speculate, but like I'm just kind of speaking from what I see.
Yeah.
Who knows what the bigger plan is, what comes out, what someone does with it, because I know there's some people that have been trying to build some use cases for it, and that's that's awesome. I think someone watched something recently, didn't they? For PDI? Better Bank or something like that?
There's always something going on.
So that's
Maybe
so
Arthur
that's what I'm
knows
saying.
the
So
latest
at least,
thing on that. What they were doing.
so at least someone's trying. I'll give someone that.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, it kind of goes back to why people want to do why ATROPA. Well, why ATROPA? Because you speculate on half the stuff that James does with his tokens.
Right.
That's why you're in it,
Yeah.
right? You know, PDI, I don't know what's happening with it other than that, like,
Sonny,
I literally have zero idea
Sonny,
what's going on with it.
what do you think?
You know, so someone else wants to take over, go ahead.
I'll just say the price is where it's at because of the belief that half the people that got out, or a big majority, are not back in. Now, whoever DCA'd and multiplied your bags and triple X or whatnot, congrats. You know, your bags, you become a well, and that's it. I stick to the best narrative, my favorite narrative. Doesn't mean I'm not ladder staked. I still love my hex. And unfortunately, what PDI did was separate our community. It and brought a lot of hate into it. Unfortunate. Either by envy, by gains, and that's that. So you know what? Everyone's gonna win. If you're in this ecosystem, by now, you just hang out. You know, it was a point where I was hanging out with X amount of Bitcoins and 100 different alts, but I consolidated into this ecosystem. So you want to call me paper hands, whatever you want to name, call me. It's all good. In one ear, out the other. But I'm definitely here and happy. And I'll leave it at that. I wish everyone health and
Hell yeah,
happiness.
man. Like
Health and
it's all
happiness
about
more than
trading and
gains.
fucking out there, man. Like I never met you before this conversation, but I'm stoked that you're on pulsechain, and I'm glad to meet you in general. Like
Yeah, likewise, bro. All love. I'm sorry if I cut you off for everything. I got love for everyone. And to me that's the most important thing. More than you know, the less you worry about gains and financially. I've seen I've seen money come and go, and it seems like now the less I worry about it, the more it comes. So I hope everyone's and I've onboarded X amount of people because I love to, and I do it for free, and I even help people out, and people have given their stuff to me, and it's at a point now. I just want to help everyone around me, and we're patiently waiting, and a lot of people
absolutely,
are
man.
depressed.
No, I fully feel you, bro.
People
Like
from 4 years ago, I've onboarded Hex on Hex from 20 to 30 cents. You know, it's look where it's at now. You know, so I think whoever's DCA'd and made it to now, where we're in a matter of, I don't know, people going into early next year, I think we could break out into segments of 10x's.
So
And
I want to get Sonny's
and that
take
could
on
be in several rounds.
I want to get Sonny's take on that question too, on the ATROPA PDI, and obviously we saw Maria or James, go through that phase where they were dumping and they were like confused. Now whether they were or not, we don't know, or whether it was real or feigned. But the point was there was a lot going on there. And what do you think about that, Maria or James's relationship now with PDI, or the ATROPA relationship with PDI? And where we are with that, what do you think, Sonny? And then PDI's future or future connection with ATROPA and pulsechain.
I mean, realistically, I just want to zoom out a little bit
Yeah.
and speak about dollar signs. And our relationships as human beings to dollar signs, because our true greed, right? Our true, like, as humans, our worst characteristics come from things that dollars have created. Like, I don't know, at our primordial instincts as men, even fighting over a woman, I don't think we were ever as nasty as we could possibly be fighting over money and power, you know? Which is just a way for men to get women. That literally goes back to animal instinct.
Yeah. I mean,
When
women
you
like
take
men who can
apart,
provision. Yeah.
it's true.
It's true.
And as men, we like women who can mother. Like, we want to be taken home of when after we're done taken care of.
Yeah.
We want to be taken care of. And they want it to be taken care of as much as they want to take care of.
Fair
Like,
enough.
we all want those same things. It's a circle of life. That's
Yeah.
Adam and Eve are no different, other than in or out, right? But you know, when you look at onboarding, right? Like, yeah, I get people into this thing, you know, and you know, you just mentioned Hex, or we talk about ATROPA. It's like, if I can get them into this thing and it does this 10x, I've onboarded them, they're in, they made this money, everyone's happy, it's great. And that's true, right? You know, but where it goes deeper, right? Where I'm at, where Stu's at, where the pub's at, where you really get deeper is that education. And it's not this luck of the draw of going to the casino, throwing your money on the table and hoping you got the right coin of the 10,000 coins that launched that day, right? If you know, if you want to be a safe player, you just buy a little ETH or a little Bitcoin. You just go up and down. But that ability to truly understand what's going on in crypto and how this whole thing works, because it's truly the simplest of basic math, right? It's exponential math. So 1 + 1 doesn't ever equals 2. It always equals more than 2, right? 2 - 1 never equals 1. It always equals less than 1. It's how market cap and liquidity always change, because you're changing one and multiplying the other. It's an exponential math moving in the direction the math is going. The more people can truly understand that, then they can start to understand that the charts are fake, the dollar signs are fake, all of it's fake, right? Like, you can look at ETH versus Bitcoin, right? Obviously, if you've been holding ETH, you've been doing horrible versus Bitcoin. Your chart is down. But if you're holding ETH, your chart's up, right? Versus USD. Like, the same. You can look at the same thing paired versus all these different assets and make a chart look like whatever narrative you want the chart to look like. So really understanding tokenomics, basic simple token counts, like why 21 million Bitcoin being all that's ever going to be there, and how we mined them and are still mining them into existence, is great for normal people to understand if you really think you're going to have a chance to, like, get deep into crypto and make it what truly brings freedom, you know?
I like that, man. I like it. But you weren't comfortable taking on the ATROPA PDI connection question?
Well, I'll take it on. Like, what was the question?
So, obviously, you know, PDI was connected all over the ecosystem. ATROPA was heavily bonded. Everything was. And then, you know, this thing happened in April, March, what have you. And it did seem like Maria was extraordinarily surprised about this PDI, you know, Vietnamese thing that was happening, which was strange, because I would think that they were aware that there was definitely something going on for a while. So I wasn't sure if it was genuine or not. But the point was, you know, James made a big thing about that. I remember it was kind of kicked off their whole dumping spree they started, right? And then, you know, we talked about it earlier where they said, okay, when this is fixed, I'll come back, whatever, right? So what do you think happened now with the relationship with ATROPA and PDI after that? And where do you think it's headed next?
James knew there was that DAI was mintable.
Yeah.
And was okay with it being mintable to a certain percentage. When it reached that specific amount, they were no longer with it being, you know, it was past that threshold of acceptability. And that is when the entire nest egg was dropped. That's when the $1 million was bridged out. And I can't think that there was a resolve to the other side of that, to be honest with you.
What do you, I mean, do you have any clue what James now thinks of PDI, or can you tell from the actions you've seen on Change what his opinion might be about PDI?
No, see, there's no thinks of though, right? Like you can't. What does James thinks of? There's no thinks. It's a mathematical equation, right?
So from his actions that you've seen, you can stipulate.
If we were smart enough to talk math, you could phrase it as what theory, right? Because we could sit here and just like throw back theory. But there's a theory at hand, and whatever that math is works no matter what without PDI. PDI is a variable that can do up and down.
Yes.
And would have a preferred range of X, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It went below that preferred range, and that's when James took out the $1 million.
Okay, fair enough.
There was speak at the time of that million may come back if it comes back within this range, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
That million went to Robinhood. That million's not coming back. Like that million is not sitting on chain in a wallet like that. That is in that man's bank account. Like, and good for him. Like, I'm glad he took that $1 million. He's done a lot of fucking work. And
I was about to say, rightfully so, he deserves it.
Right, you know, like I'm feeling bad. I take more out of his ecosystem than he does, you know, like.
Yeah. Sorry. You pee here.
So
yeah, the whole fork, right? It's all backed by the copies, and the PWETH is there. PWETH is what makes pulsechain mintable, right? We had that little conversation earlier. I said, which one's better, Pulse or Pulse X? Well, Pulse is mintable because you can mint it with PWETH. It is wrap, unwrap, one for one. You can mint the wrapped Pulse, and then you can unwrap that for a Pulse, right?
Okay.
So, like, it becomes a mintable token that no matter what will always buy and burn Pulse X.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a max to that mint, and the max to that mint is the max number of Ethereum that were either at the fork or can be minted, right? Just like you saw them minting PDI, you can also mint PWETH, right? So, like, that's how stable coins work. They mint and burn. Generally, you swap in an exchange one for the other, and it burns one to mint the other one, and that's done through the oracle, which says the price is okay, you know.
Yeah.
And that's all we saw. That's what we saw with LUSD, right? They changed the price point and made it actually proper. With DAI, its oracle is set for what was set for. You know, it keeps looking at PWETH. It looks at the price of ETH to determine what a dollar is,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even going back, all those systems are working fine. I think, you know, James just hooked up to PDI, and knowing that was the biggest of those copies, you know, that was probably the biggest stable coin on Ethereum at the time.
Yeah.
Knew if RH's P copy, or, you know, full state copy did the thing mathematically that it could do, then ATROPA would just go along for the ride. Wouldn't even matter.
So I think we may be on the same page in that sentiment from what you're saying, is that at this point it didn't work mathematically anymore. So in a lot of ways, it's not necessary to what he's doing or ATROPA. Is that pretty much what you said?
It got out of the ratio, yeah. The ratio got too far away.
Right. So it's not
and
necessary.
That was enough to hit the abort mission button.
Okay.
Did abort mission necessarily mean abort mission? No. Maybe it just meant, okay, secure $1 million for your last 2 years of work and then reassess, right?
Fair enough.
So money was pulled out with an on stream on YouTube. The possible, like, he's flat out, he's like, if this comes back into this range, I'll bridge it back in and I'll rebuy it.
I remember that.
And I don't think it came back into the range.
No.
ATROPA is still farther away from DAI than it ever was, if I'm not mistaken. I have to pull up a chart. But we never it didn't click back to those ranges to a point where he could justify bringing the million in and buying it back, I guess. But he's obviously still building within Dysnomia. He's launching tons of tokens that are still buying and burning and meant to buy and burn all of the original TSFIs and downs and the WMs, the no nukes. Like, he just all the no nukes that got previously minted to him on the last one, he just nuked all of those. Which, for anyone that's in the treasury tokens, if you're in any of those no nuke parent ones, when 414 dumps something like that, you go directly to the minter token, and because they dumped it so hard, you'll be able to mint and just sit there and rebuy the price and re-equalize it, and it's just free money for everybody.
Yeah, basically, it's like if he's dumping something, it doesn't necessarily mean it's that chart that he's dumping that you can make profit on, because there's so many avenues. It's actually quite beautiful what he's done. It's crazy, really. I think that here we are after having what were we? P-Dye, ATROPA, and Teddy Bear at one point, 3 tokens, and that was the top 3, and
It was.
here we are. There's 1,000 more.
So, in some ways, you can say that from what we've talked about over the last hour and a half is that ATROPA might be very important for pulsechain, but P-Dye is not, and P-Dye is also not important for ATROPA. Is that what I'm gathering?
Well, I just think the kind of like what Sonny said with the math. I think it's just he had a number in there, maybe with the minting stuff that changed things. But he's buying ATROPA, right? I know Sonny was about to say something. Sorry, I cut you off, Sonny.
No, you're all right. I was getting my thoughts going. You can finish up.
Well, I know. Just like he's buying it, so he obviously has a purpose for it. He's made a point to keep it alive. He's made a point to, to separate maybe things from P-Dye. Like I don't know how heavily bonded Treasury Bill was to P-Dye before all that happened, but like I know eventually it's attached to like his new stable coin. It's heavily attached to like Teddy Bear. So yeah, I know they've made a lot of changes since then. So like,
yeah, there's a lot of changes in there.
You don't know if it's orchestrated or what. It's just like anything, right? Like we all just kind of speculate at the end of the day.
Yes.
All right. So let's just say you have this token, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just call it token A. All right. You launch token A. There's some other random token. You just, let's say we got token A. Let's call it token B, right? Now, if you take token A and you pair half of its supply with token B, whatever token B does, token A now does. It's just this is how LP works, right? ATROPA leached on to P-Dye, right? Token A leached onto token B. Or attached itself. I'm not going to say leech. Leech sounds like it's I'm going to say attached. Right? Now, it did it in such a way with such a huge percent of token A of ATROPA that token B now really becomes its life form. It can't break from it, right? Whatever P-Dye does, up or down, ATROPA is going for the ride.
Right.
That is the essence of all of crypto, really, and you can zoom that out to like BTC and the US dollar, right? US dollar's inflation actually hurts BTC because we base all of crypto on USD. It hurts because of the USD inflation, right? We need a stable coin that's not US dollar, and I think actually RH will probably make that one day. It'll be a stable coin that's worth a unit of 1, but is based on crypto and backed by crypto, not backed by the US dollar, which can inflate, right? Which we obviously do every day. So, I mean, that's looking at like a token A versus token B. Like, you're always going to have that relationship. Now, will ATROPA survive or fail with or without P-Dye? It doesn't matter. It's just an LP pool. It's literally just an LP pool. Will it survive with or without Pulse X paired to it? Will it survive with or without Pulse? Pulse is probably the only one that might, like, right? Like if Pulse fails, everything on the chain fails. So that's really the only one that can tear any of us down. And even then, if you take dollars out of your picture, we don't fail. We just have all the coins in LP. We actually win because we got so many more of the coins. We have supply, we have percentage. Then if it ever does become a value again and people start buying it, you have so much more of it in your supply that those LPs, when they come to buy the coins, it moves it up higher and has more liquidity in it. You know, like look at, if you look at PDI, right?
Yeah.
When we get back to, like, if you look at even at the chart, wherever we are now, if you go back in time to where we are at the same exact price, we now have what, 5, 10, 100 times the supply that we did at that same price, right? So you have to think about how those metrics works. When a coin is $1, if there's 100 of them in total supply, or 1,000, or 10 million, right?
Yeah.
And where that chart goes, and that's when you can start to get into market caps and stuff like that, right? And it does. It's a dollar sign, like matrix that's literally just meant to mess with people's heads. Like it's kind of fake. It's those token counts. It's how many tokens are there versus the total supply in A, the total supply in B. What percent is 10% of this supply paired with 2% of the supply, or 50%? You know, look at Pulse and Pulse X. Like 5% of Pulse X is paired with 5% of Pulse, and there might only be 10% of the whole supply in LP because the other 90% is in RH's wallet and our wallets, right? So like, there's always this mathematical play on which one's going to pull or push the other one. And in this particular scenario, I don't think ATROPA dies without PDI. For that PDI to not be in that LP, they would have to buy it out, right? And that would just raise the price of everything attached to ATROPA.
Okay, interesting. It's funny. I've always felt for a while, quite a bit more bullish on ATROPA. Like it had staying power.
So like another one's Ichi Dai. You know the Daiichi and Ichi Dai?
I remember that one, yeah.
Okay, so Ichi Dai right now, whatever, I'm just going to throw numbers out. Let's just say it's 80-1 versus Dai. I think it's supposed to be like 1,000-1 or something, right? Like it's way below value right now.
Yeah.
Now, there's two ways. Let's for math, let's say it's at 80-1 and it's supposed to be 160-1, right? It's supposed to be 2 times higher than it is right now. So there's 2 ways of doing that. One is to buy it, right? We buy Ichi Dai until it's worth 160 Dai instead of the 80 that it's worth now, right? Or we double the supply of PDI and sell it all, right? That would change the ratio without changing necessarily. Well, it might change the dollar sign, but not much, right? Then all of a sudden, Ichi Dai is mintable for profit now, even though its price didn't change at all. Because you can now buy twice as many Dai for half the price to go minted than you could before, because the supply is there. So that number of supply and what's available is very crucial to kind of what goes back and forth. And that's why I was saying earlier on in the stream, it'd be awesome if we had some sort of a metric showing how many tokens from airdrop SAC have left those wallets and gone through an LP.
Do you think anytime in the near future, ATROPA and PDI intersect again in a big way, like they did in the past?
No, I think the charts are the same until one of them has significantly more buy or sell pressure than the other. They are each other's top holder. They are each other's biggest LP. Like ATROPA is... Hold on, let's just do the math. Let's not even try and look at it and figure it out. Okay.
Sigwolf says, outside of the shakeout, PDI gains on ATROPA consistently.
You gotta remember though, like the one thing, like as long as I've been in this space, it's always been people are still hammering the table. P-Dye's gonna peg. P-Dye's gonna peg. So like that's still the same narrative that people almost carry with them. So there's that little bit of hopium, or there's that I don't know what it is. Would be still like 100x to from a penny to a dollar or something like that, or like I don't know what the price is right now. P-Dye if we wanted to do it to a dollar, but like people look at that and like they get excited about that, and that essentially can be a problem in itself, right? So like the moment and listen, it's not just like anyone's fault or this and that. This is just human nature, right? And it's basically just another form of gambling when you have false hopium or speculation on something that could or may very well happen that does change your life. And we know that in this day and age that like, you know, buying real estate and flipping a house all of a sudden because the property is turned for profit, that's kind of died out, this and that. Like to, to really make degenerate money nowadays is really in crypto, and most understand that. So I think that's kind of also the problem itself, because you have a narrative being pushed, you have the math there saying, hey, this is how much you get to a dollar. And so people were still buying P-Dye, I think, maybe based off of that, because there still is that. Listen, the only person buying ATROPA is basically anyone who believes in it, or Maria. Anyone buying P-Dye is basically behind the fact that it's going to peg to a dollar. And I would say there are more believers behind the idea that it's going to peg to a dollar than ATROPA doing anything.
Fair enough.
So I think that's kind of what you see when people are buying up P-Dye. Well,
There's going to be a lot of P-Dye. Go ahead.
But listen, if RH ever puts P-Dyes in the farm, you'll see that ratio shift dramatically, because then people are going to start buying P-Dye to get it in the farm, right? So who knows what is going to happen, right? So I guess this is just what we see now, where it's just like both really don't have a use case at all, other than the fact that like what they're attached to is going up. And the only thing that's going up right now is Ethereum, which is heavily attached to Pulse, right? And that's why our whole chain's getting dragged up, is because it's essentially Pulse is getting pulled up.
Yeah.
You look at every chart right now, Pulse has been basically the leading factor in mostly every chart. Like you look at PLS and Inc, usually those are leading Pulse. As soon as Ethereum took over, that changed. So it's kind of hard to kind of gauge basically what ATROPA or P-Dye going to do in general. But we also, like I said, I'll go back to it. You love Maria, you love what they do, you believe in it and everything, you're ATROPA. You're DRC believer where you think it's going to go to a dollar one day, you're in P-Dye. And at the end of the day, if Pulse goes up, they're both going to go up. So we all win. So it's like, it's hard to really have that choice. It's fucking space, man. If I knew the future, I'd have a better answer. You know what I mean?
I have no doubt they're all going to pump. Yeah, I agree with you on that for sure. And Maria Sigwolf just put, Maria says P-Dye will peg.
Everything to dollar.
Listen, there's going to be a lot of whales also selling at 10 cents. You know, those people who got into those crashes, don't forget, P-Dye hit 3.5 cents. 10 cents is not far-fetched, and that's a little under 20x. A lot of people will be happy with a 20x. You know, you could say peg a dollar, but you know what?
People will be happy with anything if you tell them it does this thing and it does them, right? And that's great, over and over and over and over. But like, let's go back, okay? Like, Saint, you said something about Maria saying what, $7.50 for ATROPA, right?
Yeah.
All right, you're scrolling on the screen. Go find ATROPA die. Like, let's do it together as a community on the screen. We'll show everybody. Let's find out where that 7.5 came from.
Here's ATROPA.
And then I can go and I can show you any other token in the ecosystem, and I can give you price predictions for it based on what the dev is going to do and where it's at. Because it's all one big ecosystem. It's one big living, breathing thing. It's not like, oh, this is going to 10x or oh, this is going to 100x. Like, it's just not like, I can definitively tell you right now what coins are undervalued, but I cannot definitively tell you that they're going to go to what they're worth, because there's zero buy pressure on any of this shit, any of it, including pulsechain. Like,
Yeah, hey, like I said, we're Ethan's younger brother right now. Until Richard Hart does something, we're just another commodity of Hart's law, which is essentially what he created, which ETH goes up, drags the rest of the ecosystem up. And that's
all right, well, put that on ATROPA versus DAI.
yes.
Okay, ATROPA die.
Up top though, at the
switch.
so scroll.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. All right, so we're currently at what, 27-ish.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So
28.
if you go scroll to the left there, actually you can just see it, and scroll to the left. Look at the last year and a half. Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's your 7.5 right there.
Yeah.
Right? This is DAI versus ATROPA. So ATROPA, in James's mind, for the last year and a half before we got all screwy, was 7.5 to 1. So when DAI gets to $1, that puts ATROPA at $7.50.
Oh. Interesting.
Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, zoom in on that chart to the left there. Get rid of that big candle we have on the right and the huge dip. Go look at everything prior to that. Yeah, do a reset scale. And your average there, be it, if it, you know, it's up, down, back and forth, you know, that average might be closer to 7. But if you look at the prior year from,
Yeah, I mean, it's like a little range
September of 23 until August of 24, it ranged around 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, we can bring it up with volume.
Right. So for a year of mellowness, when James was in control, ATROPA was 7.5 to 1 with PDI, and that's probably a really, really good spot for yourself and anyone listening to just start looking at the math behind all of this. And there was a point where the math went wonky, and James said, I have to sell $1 million and leave. And that was that candle back in April. And now we're at, 27 to 1. Right? So ATROPA is worth more to DAI than it has ever been.
Wow.
And James, it's actually, that puts it at almost 4x, right? 21. Yeah, that's 28. Mm-hmm. 20, 30 would be 4x.
Yeah.
So that's almost 4x of that 7.5 number that came out back in that, that was probably the Amsterdam conference or whatever.
Wow. Yeah, it's a cool way to look at it. Think about it here. And yeah, your point of control is 664.
Right. So now we're at like a 27 to 1, and James is still here and still working on things. Maybe neutral zero has been readjusted in his math, right? Because you can always adjust something. Mm-hmm. A can, when the equation started, it was A plus B equals C. Mm-hmm. But then you start to add A plus C squared minus 2 equals plus, like more math and shit than any of us could even imagine or picture, right? Like, every time there's something else launched or there's a new LP made, like LP ads are the ones I watch the most. It's not so much a token. He can launch 1,000 tokens all day long. I really don't care. But as soon as he adds one to LP, why? Where is it tied in, right? So, like, I mean, if you wanted to do that next thing, we'd go to ATROPA. And if you use Martin's Liquidity Pool Explorer, take ATROPA and go to the Liquidity Pool Explorer and look at ATROPA's LPs in order of their size, and it'll start to give you this really big view about what ATROPA holds overall. And then when you start to look at those really big holdings, if you really want to blow your own mind, go to Treasury Bill. And Treasury Bill had this, it was mintable and it got minted crazy, and that's how he minted a bunch of it, swaps it for teddy bear, sold the teddy bear. That's how he got the $1 million out. He didn't actually sell ATROPA or any of his really big holdings. He just minted a shit fuck ton of Treasury Bill and bought other assets that had liquidity that he had made pairs with, and then sold those, right? So when he renounced Treasury Bill, he put an end to that. And that one actually got me. That one was like, oh, well, Treasury Bill was the stable coin. It was mintable and burnable. But now it's no longer mintable. So, like, where's your back door, right? Because I always look for the back door. That's what a good detective does, right? So I go to Treasury Bill and look at all of its top holdings, and you see, oh, well, the top 5 coins that hold the majority of the supply of this coin, 414, or 2501 now, holds 95% of those coins, right? So James can get rid of all Treasury Bill holdings right now and still have 10 times the control over the token that anybody else could ever possibly have, just through the LP pairings.
Why are people so interested in Treasury Bill all the time? Why does it always come up? So it always seems to be trending down to ATROPA.
Treasury Bill is much like our Treasury Bill. If there's something wrong, you can mint money and point it at it and just go fix it. That's literally what Treasury Bill was forever. Anytime something was out of line, if he would go and do an audit, let's say something was down 10% against an asset that was supposed to be, right? Let's say BFF was down 5% against Pirates with Attitude, right? Well, what if he doesn't have any Pirates with Attitude on hand? He can't just sell the Pirates with Attitude to pump the BFF.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then he would mint the T-bill and just go pump the BFF.
Chat, how you guys doing out there?
You know,
I forgot about this.
thing is too. So this is why the Fed got as much traction as it did, because when we took it over, basically, the only way you can get more Fed is you have to mint the Treasury Bill into Fed. So that's the 1-to-1. So if you look at the 1-to-1 ratio to that, well, it's off. I think Fed's below. I think it used to be as close to like a 3-to-1. So basically, if you held it and got the Treasury Bill, you made 3 times your money. Well, it's below that. So I know that's something that that has been pushed. I know liquidity is a bit thicker. I don't know what Maria's plan with it, but that's something that if it ever gets above the price of Treasury Bill, you can now mint Treasury Bill into Fed and sell the Fed into Treasury Bill until that's 1-to-1. So essentially, if anyone actually, made profit on that and they want to sell it that way, there's a couple ways you can do it. But so that's why Treasury Bill gets brought up, because it's not mintable anymore. I know James has made a point of saying that they want to keep a certain amount of holding on it, but they still sell it from time to time. But it's kind of like the whole thing of once you get down to a certain point and they have a certain holding, well, their self pressure is not going to really do too much more. So basically, it's just going to start going up. That's why people don't buy it, because they have the expectation that he's going to keep selling it. And until he stops selling it, or until he's out, then that's when it's going to start going up. And kind of like Sonny said, there's zero buy pressure on anything right now. So that's
sure.
why we see everything the way it is. You know, I think people are still recovering from the Maker incident. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people have left the eco. A lot of people have kind of walked away. But like, I don't know.
Not
man,
this one.
This is how, man. This chain has changed my life, so I owe everything to it, and I owe everything to do more outside of it.
It's great.
Chat, you guys have any questions? Somebody said, somebody has a question about allow tokens, but I feel like that's going to open up a whole nother story here. Sonny the Goat. So, for new people coming in, or forget that, because it's really Maria's buying ATROPA, and there was quite a bit of the supply being burned. But I know what you mean. There's generally not a lot of buy pressure on, and really anything right now. We can see that in the charts. Not that much. For a lot of the people that are on this chain and are still in a bit of like, why do these people keep giving attention to James Osborne, who went through a hissy fit and dumped, all this stuff, and is creating all this thing? Because a lot of people on pulsechain still think he's a problem maker, right? More than they, from when I talk to people. So what do you?
Why do you listen to your girlfriend when she bitches and moans and gives you a hissy fit?
So what do we say to them?
Because the pussy's good, man. Like, that's the answer. It's because the pussy's good.
Hey, man, I just look at charts. The charts are good. So what do I tell them? Where's the alpha for them going forward now with ATROPA? What do we see? What do we see going forward?
I was kind of thinking about this question. So anyone who actually makes their way into pulsechain is going to be because of what? We can tell them that like this coin did X, X, and X. I mean, well, think about it. Like we've been doing this for 3 years, and we haven't been able to get anyone over with what we've done as like the altcoin side of things. Like like we're sitting here going like, hey, people got rich off of this coin, and people are still going, like whatever. But until you see like pulsechain do something, that's when you're actually gonna start getting like heads to turn, and that's when once people are in it, that's when the curiosity grows. Well, then what's this coin? Because I remember when I first got into crypto, it started with Bitcoin. Well, I'm too late. In hindsight, that's fucking hilarious. But then Dogecoin before its run up. I remember my buddy bought a bunch at like less under a penny, and he was like, buy this, and we're like, why? He's like, I don't know, because it's stupid. And then that game has changed. But then once you get into it, you got into Ethereum because Ethereum was going up, but then it was like, okay, well, Ethereum has altcoins, and then next thing you know, once you learned about altcoins, you learned about BNB. So like the curiosity grows as you get there. So you have to kind of think of it like that. Like people have to get into pulsechain before they actually learn about ATROPA, because it's almost hard to talk about ATROPA without talking about pulsechain first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right? Like, so it's just one of those things where it's just like, until we get to that point where we have 100 people.
But what do you say to the people?
Sorry, go ahead.
What do you say to the people that are pulsicans or hexicans already that have a negative opinion, especially after what happened in April about ATROPA and James Osborne? So what do you tell them the alpha is now going forward, why it matters?
Well, I don't know about you, but like, I think the chain's less than the stock price. Your founder hasn't done anything. Hex is below than what it was when you first started. So like all these factors, it's like you look at him, and there's so many people that have done so much worse. Like right now, how much are you paying for your groceries and stuff like that? But yeah, we're crying about some guy that took profit on something, and our founder holds what, like X amount of the coins. It hasn't done anything with the SAC money. Epstein rest haven't even been released yet, but we're mad at Maria. You get what I mean? So like, I feel like the focus is almost misplaced in a way. People find some way to blame because it's the most latest thing, when really in hindsight, like,
what do we
he's still trying to make you money in different spots. But like, I kind of get what you're saying, because it leaves a sour taste in someone's mouth when it's almost like, well, this is what they did. I can't forget that. Fuck them. I'll never do that again. It's almost like
But if we give them,
if you like
alpha,
a sports team, it's like, yeah, fantasy sports, any sports, they let you down once. You're saying F that. I'm not going back to them again. And I kind of get that, right? So like, there's almost a little bit of hurt feelings there. So it's like, don't tell me, show me. But then by the time you show me, it's going to be too late for me to get in. And then that's kind of like the shitty thing with crypto.
Sonny, what do you think? What's the alpha for ATROPA going forward that we can tell people to look into?
ATROPA's a scam. All you should sell it and let me get a better position. No, I'm sorry. I was just laughing at the YouTube. Some guy talking about this, talking about a tornado fork or some shit.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, like, Tornado Cash was forked. It is already on pulsechain as it was on Ethereum, working fine and dandy as intended, just like it was supposed to. Like, oh man, people don't realize how far ahead RH was. Like, RH knew about this moment in time right here before he even launched Hex. Like, he knew what was going to happen down the road. You think he didn't tornado cash himself some shit 10 years ago that is now forked onto pulsechain that he has a copy of? Like, come on, man.
I onboarded someone last week, and the biggest hook outside of Hex EDI, he said, I had SHIB a couple years ago, and I was like, you know what? You got a SHIB copy on pulsechain. And I went on Go Pulse and I showed it to him. I said, you got value. I said, you had it on a hardware wallet, right? He goes, no, I had it on Coinbase. I go, that's another story. But once I told him there's value and other copies, it hooked him. So,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you had $1 of anything on a different wallet, you have it here. Like, that's the beauty of the fork, Believe me, I actually
was ahead of his time, like you said. He was ahead of his time. I
bought Hex, thinking it would be worth value, right? And when the chain came here and Hex was forked, I realized immediately the value that I had, and no one realized it because they were very greedy, right? And they thought we're Hexicans, we made all our money already. Fuck all you, we don't understand value, right? The value was I had something that no one else could get, right? You could not have my forked Hex no matter how much money you had. You couldn't get it, period. So it had a lot of value. And Pulse was very much the same thing, Pulse and Pulse X, right? However, it's crypto and people don't actually put value on those things. But the lessons that RH taught those of us that were around in the last bull and sacrificed a few bucks and stuck around this year to, it's a couple years ago now, rather. But the lessons that he taught us in crypto were super, super invaluable. And it's a whole bunch of people that sit here, stare at the blockchain, right? We're not a real outgoing bunch. We're not all the influencers and the hype people. We're just a bunch of people that like to solve puzzles,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to tell on boards. Listen, you want to learn about Bitcoin, it's like you're in first grade. But if you want a college degree, sit down and let's talk about pulsechain.
It's actually a great way of putting it. And then, if you want to start talking about a master's degree, I'll give you a master's degree in stablecoins all day long. But do you want a master's degree in PDI? Because I give you one in that, and then I'll give you another one in USDC because it's two different master's degrees and how they work. And then when we're done with the master's degrees in stablecoins and how a P stable works on a forked network versus the native coin versus how a forked copy of Bitcoin, wrapped WBTC. See, now wrapped WBTC, it calls from USDT, which is calling from Ethereum. Whereas DAI, it's just calling from Ethereum, right? Like you're starting about, you start to get into that matrix of different things, right? So like it is like a doctorate and it is a level of education. And that's one way to think about it. How I always explain it is like video games, right? Like you're not going to come into Mario Land or what is it, Super Mario Brothers. You're not going to beat the Koopa Doop Destroyer on level. Man, it's been a long time. I don't even know their names anymore. But you're not just put the game in, get to level 99, and save the princess, right? Like you got to start on level 1. You got to fail. You got to save it and restart and go to school and come back the next day and restart, and then you get to level 2, right? Like crypto's that same way, and you got to lose a couple bucks every time you're on a level because hopefully you learned how to not do that before or again, right? I made it 4 years up until about I think January. I got hit. Somebody whacked me for 50 grand. Like I got hacked, and I had a nice portfolio. 50 grand wasn't devastating by any means, but it's like you do all the things in the video game to stay proper, and then you get complacent, you screw up, right? So like that was me having to reassess my video game and my checkpoints and my save points and what I do. But this is kind of a sidetrack, obviously. But like, I went and bought all new computers, fucking burned old MacBooks. Like wherever the infection was, that someone got one of my either a private key or a seed. I'm not sure. I think it was a private key. And
Wow.
I transferred it one time on one computer from one browser to another, and somehow they got in there. So, sorry, tangent.
Funny you mentioned that. Similar to story last year when I autofilled on a fishy site, bridging into bridge.pulsechain. And yeah, could happen to anyone, fellas.
Oh, buddy,
And ladies.
I got rent for 15K.
Jeez.
I was on a sorry, go ahead.
Mine was a little bit heavier. At that time it was 200K. And the craziest thing was at that time I was on another laptop on a Bible study during Zoom. And so after everything happened, I started laughing and I was like, you know what? You deserved it. So it's all good. It happens. You just got to pay attention a little bit more when you're transacting.
Oh, 100%. And dude, I remember I was almost in grief. So I was trying to bridge out money, and basically I needed, not to sound sad, but like I basically had to pull out money to put down a dog I had at the time. And I was like so distraught. I kept seeing the bridge transaction wasn't going through. I did like 3 or 4. The next thing I realized I was just approving a transaction on my wallet to take my money out. And next thing you know, I was like, fuck. I was like, just because of in that moment of grief, it's just like, you know what? And I say to people, if you're ever going to do anything, you got to be like 100% confident. Like, listen, I'm not saying be so straight mind, but like you got to be in the state you are most confident in to be doing your move, because you know what? The moment you slip up is the moment you are doing something you shouldn't have been doing. The worst part is the moment you do it, you know it. So at least it's a good learning lesson, but we call them expensive lessons, and it's a tough lesson.
Yeah, I'll add to that, man. Just for your own personal safety out there, use Rabby wallet. If I'd have used Rabby and not MetaMask, that'd have saved me 50 grand right there.
Rabby's solid, yeah.
Rabby will make you approve anyone that you send money to.
Yeah.
So even if you have a spoof transaction, if you go to a wall and a website and it spoofs a transaction to your wallet to where you think you're doing something, but it changes it and says you're sending money somewhere else, Rabby will pop up and block it and say, "Are you sure you want to send money to this wallet? You know, you've never transacted with this wallet before." So. I will give a huge fuck you to MetaMask and shout out to Rabby on that one.
It's kind of funny, eh? Like even let Rabby cut off some of their stuff, it still works flawlessly. If anything, it actually works faster because it doesn't skip stuff. But it was also nice to see what you were doing beforehand. I was kind of willing to wait the
It
extra half
does
a second.
the old school in me. I like MetaMask's gas controls. I understand it. I understand its math. I like a lot of things about it, but without a doubt, like Rabby just went far superior, and that one little thing right there, like Rabby, man, and I hate them. They dropped us, right? Like they dropped us, but they would have saved me 50 grand in that one click, you know.
No, that's it, man.
It's good to know. Thank you.
Everybody be careful out there, man. You guys all you guys crazy stories, man. Yeah, this shit's serious. Be careful. Yeah, everybody really be careful. And what Stu was saying, you know, make sure you're cool and calm and like, you know, very meticulous about it. Because if you're agitated or hungover or whatever or stressed,
Or even having cocktails. Don't have cocktails and transact.
Jesus,
Never.
don't.
Stay off of it if you've had the cocktails. Don't text your ex
Oh my
and don't
God.
trade crypto.
That's good
Yeah.
advice, man.
Been there too many times. Do not do it.
Right.
All right,
Just looking on the YouTube, that Snowflake size, any theories why Rabby dropped us? My honest to God, only theory is that RH paid him money.
wait, what?
I don't see why. Well, why did he asked why Rabby dropped us? Why they didn't show our support? They're D-Bank as well. For anyone that doesn't know, Rabby owns D-Bank.
Okay.
They're one and the same. They dropped us before we fucking hit our bottom, and for us before we actually went, right? Like they dropped us in
Right.
December.
Yeah.
That was basically our lows after January.
Yeah.
And
RH.
to
you think
like
they-
community support was there. We rallied, right? No one's rallying for any chain support on fucking any chain, right? Like no one gives a fuck. Base might have loud people. I don't hear them at all. Like there's no money. Solana ain't shit. Like what other chain is there? Who's rallying? Nobody. And they said, you know, so like they had amazing support for us with the wallet tracker on D-Bank and us using it on Rabby, and they dropped it with zero explanation. They do not respond to anything. So the only thing that truly makes sense to me is RH paid them to just say, shut the fuck up and don't show these people what they have.
Whoa. That's interesting.
That's probably a part of it is he almost wants you to kind of like. I mean, well, the problem is it's kind of contradicting what I was saying. Like he wants privacy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's almost like he also wants you to do the fucking work at the same time. So it's like, you know, that's
Well,
kind of one of the
privacy,
things. Sorry,
but he also wants this whole thing to look. He wants the whole thing to look like a scam. People buy shit that looks good. If it's too good to be true, it's a scam. He wants this shit. This shit is too good to be true. You
100%.
can't market it that way, or someone's going to put $1 million in it and they're going to walk out of here a trillionaire. And he can't have that because they won't do proper with the $1 trillion. Like, there's a weight in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I launch a coin tomorrow,
Yeah.
and one of you goes and turns your $1 into a million and buys a fucking tank and goes and mows down some fucking government because I gave you the funds to do, like, granted, it's a far fetch, but you understand that there are butterfly effects to the things you do, right?
Yes.
So like RH, like there isn't a position right now that $1 million whale can just come slap $1 million dick on the table. Like $1 million, that's huge price impact in the pulse chain. That alone keeps every billionaire out of the chain. If I can't slap my $1 million dick in it, without, doing what I like. If you slap $1 million, what's the price impact? Let's pull it up. Pulse
Well,
in the
Huge.
die.
it's kind of like we go back to what we're saying, and like Sonny, I know you were talking about like when Paul Shane first started, this is what we should have done, and I know that now. And then we go a step further. This is when I should have put my money in the farms, and I know that now. And then we kind of keep going and going and going, and it's almost like you can't have enough money to put in here because of how confident this chain makes you feel. And that's exactly who he wants to keep away. He wants to keep away the people that just don't have the fucking time for it, in a sense.
So
He
just pulling
wants
up
to. He literally.
PulseX right now,
Sorry,
$1
go ahead.
million is a 20% price impact. So if you want to put $1 million into Pulse Chain right now, you're immediately saying, I'm okay with it only being worth 800K.
Whoa.
And if you want to cash it out tomorrow, you're only cashing out 560K because we're going to have 20% price impact on the way out. Right? Like, that's how shitty of a chain we are. If you're a billionaire and someone says, yeah, Pulse Chain, they're like, cool, put $1 million in it. They're like, well, sir, the second I put $1 million in there, it's going to be worth 800,000. They're going to say, yeah, don't buy that.
Exactly.
And
It's very smart marketing, really.
I see it every single day because I've shown so many people the PRCs that have 5 cents or $1 in it, and people are like, oh, I can't put $1, like, I can't buy that. It's like, oh no, you can. However, your greed won't allow you to sit here and press buttons for the next 4 years to get a position like the rest of us have. Like, Pulse Chain may very well be responsible for one of the largest wealth hand changes ever to happen, like, especially in crypto. Obviously, Bitcoin will be hands down the largest ever, right? ETH hopefully does something, right? Because we kind of need ETH, but like, if Bitcoin is one of the biggest, ETH second, we're right there on the cryptos. We're part
Well,
of it.
and so think about this. So I've tried to onboard a lot of my friends with like this type of theory that like this is what it could do, And okay, so if you missed out on Bitcoin, well then Ethereum. If you missed out on Ethereum, well then what's next for the normies? And if you kind of actually take a step out, XRP seems to be the thing that most people think that is going to be the one to save them because it's connected to the bank, it's connected to this, connected to that, right? Like, so all of my friends, and dude, I kid you not, I literally have told all of them, I'm like, I literally, don't have to worry about this anymore, don't have to do this and that, and like still over their fucking heads, and some people just refuse to ever see what we see, and unfortunately that actually has to work in our favor.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the other side of it, like, there's a window into the future with the Pulse Chain forks. If you want to tell me how many X's you want to get, I can tell you what coin to put it into, right? Because I can look at every single thing that we launched. Every single one of them was 1 million X to parity. So if you choose any number between 1 million and 1, I can find a parity coin that still has, let's say you say, I want something that's going to do 1,000X. Cool. I'll go sign something that's already done, 990,000X, but still has 1,000X left in it, right? Like, so,
fellas, I gotta bounce. It's been a pleasure. Appreciate it.
Yeah, cool, brother.
It's a pleasure.
All right,
Arthur.
and congratulations.
That was great to see you, brother.
Thanks, Arthur. Have a good one, buddy.
Take care, guys. Bye.
So looking at the YouTube, right? Signy Wolf. The value extraction from the chain has been for years. We can only hope it was part of the accumulation plan and returns. It's an interesting way of looking at it because extraction and accumulation are just positive and negative, right? Like, if you are in this chain, you're literally only here to extract value from it. If you're not, then take all of your tokens and send them to the burn address, and you will then add value to Pulse Chain, right? The only true value that Pulse Chain has is bridged in from Ethereum assets that have been sent to a dead address and cannot ever be taken off the chain. That's it. That's our only value. So, like, you know, all of this is just stuff that we make up and give value to. And PDI to $1, like, it ain't gonna happen. Can it go to $1? Sure. Can it go way past it? Yes. Is it going to be pegged at $1? Not a chance in your life ever. It's just not going to happen. There's a coin there with math, and the math that used to work for that on a different chain no longer works. Rat BTC, it's going to go past regular BTC. Why would it go past it, you ask? Because let's say Rat BTC right now goes to 200,000. Our P Rat BTC on Bitcoin goes to 200,000. Every single person will sell it, right? Everyone that owned it on ETH will find it on their Pulse wallet and they will sell it for the real thing, right? Now, when everyone sold all of it, where is it? It's in an LP. Why? Because people like me put up our real money against it and said, I'll put it in LP because I know you'll sell it. I know you'll give it to me, right? So one day when there's no more sell pressure from anyone because everybody's sold everything, then it's in an LP paired to Pulse. Well, what's Pulse do? Pulse does a 2x. Oh, dang. Now this $120,000 coin is $240,000. And nobody can sell it ever because nobody owns it anymore. So every single P copy will go beyond parity. There will be sell pressure on the way. And when we hit the bottom of that pendulum swing is when the LP providers will make a little bit of a straw and say, oh, maybe I want to hold some more and get some value out of it and go up, right? But like, for the most part, I mean, the LP, you make so much anyway at that point, it just doesn't even matter.
Wow.
We make more in LP on the way down. When your $ charts go down, we make more in LP than when $ go up.
So that's kind of like the kind of play off what Sonny was saying earlier about why that tool we're talking about is so important. So basically, you have an idea of how many people have held these tokens when we launch versus how many still hold them even after, X amount of time. So basically, if you have, 90% of the wallets that got the PRC copies airdropped to them, sell them for less than what they were actually worth now, well, then you're just going to see that price just go skyrocket because the people who understand are just going to keep buying it. And then when the last 10% sell, then it's ours. That's essentially what's just going to happen. The people who understand the game here is just going to be like, here, you give us your PRCs, but they're going to be worth way more than what you're selling them for. And we understand that. But it's a weighted game, it's patience, and it's not for anyone. And that's kind of the thing that people want when they come to this chain is, or even crypto in general, they want now. And like you hear a lot of success stories and stuff like that. So that's kind of the problem within itself. Like, it's good to have success stories, but it kind of creates a false sense of whatever. Like everyone who I know has made it on this chain has worked fucking hard. And I can literally tell you that like I had to work really fucking hard. These fucking nights of no sleep and stuff like that after night shift, working at work, stuff like that. Like, dude, I remember doing Hello World in a little control terminal on my computer at work just to figure out coding, and that was maybe a year and a half ago. And it does not come easy. You have to put the fucking time in, and that's basically the best lesson I can give to anyone is you might think we know a lot because we talk about this and that, and just you have to put the time in. Bottom line.
Yeah, 100%. And I think my journey into ATROPA starting in 2023 was that exact lesson. It was like, you're going to have to learn this. And there wasn't a ton of information out there, right? There was definitely like Coexistent Steven was making a lot of stuff and a handful of other people, but we had to get in and start learning, and it taught me a lot about, you're just going to have to do it. It's not easy. And
I remember the days when you know, James Maria started making like minted coins, and they started placing LP, so it was profitable for people who would know. And you'd be sitting there going like, somebody like, yeah, I just made like 3 or 4K or a couple K, and I'll be honest, I was in the position that's a lot of money that can go a long way at times, and you're almost like, fuck, like if I just would have learned a little bit, maybe I could have made half that, and that's kind of what drove me to just be a little better to help myself out, because it's just, you know what, man, there has to be a drive. We can't teach people to want to teach themselves, but at the end of the day, we can teach you. If you have the question, we can answer the question, because we've done it. I don't mind fast tracking stuff, but like as long as you understand it, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, right on. So what do you want to say in closing about ATROPA? And by the way, this has been an awesome conversation. There's been just crazy levels of alpha I didn't even know we'd get into. And of course, I have a million more questions, but we've covered a lot of ground here. Chat, what do you guys think? It's been an awesome chat, right? Been amazing. But yeah, let's close with something. Sonny, you want to start?
Okay, I want to do a visual.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to do an intro or an exit or anything, but I want to visualize something for everyone.
Okay.
Because you can visualize it to two different things, and this is how I want you to visualize it. I want you to visualize this from DAI, the stablecoin as we all know it, like on Ethereum. And then we're going to go into pulsechain. And then we're going to go back to DAI.
Okay.
So if you will, Saint, just go to your PulseX and pull up your swap. And pull up your DAI stablecoin, the real one that we all love and grew up with as children. And we'll put that as it trades into Pulse. Because dollar signs really are the devil in crypto, right? And it's, the devil's right there in front of you when that's what you're trying to do. We're all trying to make a dollar. We're all looking for that.
Which pair are we doing?
So, DAI. Click on the DAI that's right there. The pre-made one, yep.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, of the 8 up top.
Oh, just that one. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So let's do DAI into Pulse. And type in $1 million in DAI.
Okay.
Click your little arrow so it shows our price impact.
This guy.
Yep. All right. So we got 20%-ish twice price impact, right?
Yeah.
So that's for your average person to realize that if a millionaire wants to come into pulsechain, right, they're going to take their $1 million in DAI, merge it over and buy. And we could switch this to ETH, and we could look at $1 million in ETH, and it's going to be a little bit different. It might be 10, 15%, whatever it is. Either way, if you take $1 million as a gajillionaire whale and want to come to pulsechain, when you buy it, you're going to get $785,000 worth of Pulse. So step one, you're going to lose $215,000, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to give you, well, actually, okay, yours is a little different. You're auto routing. Okay, cool. So you get 830,000. All right. So copy and paste that 16 number right there. Yours is 16,452.
Mm-hmm.
Copy that and then flip this equation so that you're selling Pulse into DAI, right? So let's say you're this whale. You bought your $1 million. You got 16 billion Pulse, right? So now you want to leave. Take that and do 16 billion Pulse into DAI.
Mm-hmm. It's another 14.3% slippage.
Right. So now you're catching your slippage on the way out, and you're going to end up with 700,000, right?
Yeah.
So you're a whale. You just bought this coin, decided you didn't like it the next day, and sold it, and you lost 30%.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have whales. That's why our chain doesn't fly. We don't have the liquidity. Why don't we have the liquidity? because we didn't have some huge, crazy, stupid ICO like Ethereum, where people put up billions of dollars and then they put it into the liquidity pool and people dumped on each other and sold at a loss, right? That's literally what happens every time there's a pre-sale or an ICO. People give money, they get their coin, and they either dump it right away because it goes nowhere, which is what Ethereum basically did at launch, or you get any of these launches where these guys just sell for 2x, 3x, they take their money and they just leave. Like, that's it, right? This price impact is huge. This is our chain. If pulsechain has we're probably sitting between $300 and $400 million market cap at half stack price. It's literally nothing, man. Like, there's, Pepe's got $1 billion market cap probably.
Yeah.
Like, the tiny bit of money that it truly takes to move this chain is nothing, and it's because of our liquidity. So, like, the longer we are down here just going sideways, the more liquidity actually gets added to liquidity pools because of the trading and because of the arbitrage bots. So the chain's actually doing great. Liquidity is being built whether any of us are trading or not. It's just purely arbitrage, which pays out those liquidity providers, and it'll come. We'll get more liquidity. It's a mathematical equation. If people don't want to add it themselves, it will slowly build up and suck it from ETH through that arbitrage, which, and I know it sounds crazy, right? But like, as that liquidity builds, if you suck more of it in and put it into a liquidity that can never get sold, it will raise the price of it. And that's how everything on this chain, even though it was 1,000,000x to parity from launch, everything on this chain will go to parity and then beyond it, because there's nothing there to stop it.
Wow.
Yeah, because you're not going to, at some point, you're going to not be able to go to ETH to buy it and bring it over, because it's all going to be over here. Right? That's honestly, with that stuff alone, which Sonny said, that's like the stuff that alone drove me to be curious enough as I was, and then just, Maria dropped the whole little slap on that, and that was different. I know you had a closing statement, so I just kind of want to say, Saint, it was awesome to meet you. It's kind of nice to be on your stream for the first time, and man, we'll have to do this again sometime. I thank you really much. Thank you very much for having me on, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, likewise. It was an absolute pleasure chatting with you guys. I'm glad you guys were willing to join the stream. There's still so much mystery around ATROPA. You guys handled everything really well, so it's great having you guys. And Sonny, it was great to see you again. Stu, it was nice to meet you. Do you want people to reach out to you guys? Where do you want them to reach out?
Honestly, I know Sonny's got Sonny's Pub. So I know he always says that's his best spot. Me, I have, like, I don't know, if you go to my Twitter and you can find me that way. I have, like, my own Telegram too, but, like, you can find me in the pub. You can find me in any common group. As long as you ask me publicly your questions, I don't mind answering them. Just don't ask me them privately.
Yeah,
I'd rather everyone learn, right?
And of course, you guys come to at St. Wolf Vision. You can drop your question, tag one of them as well.
Even they
people in there answer.
I'm in your group, so people can ask me there too, right? There we go.
There you go. These guys are.
I'm a little more away from the desk these days as far as answering question goes, but I'm all about the pub and doing things there. What's really surprising is when it comes to this stuff, it's not the normal, like, oh hey, what should I buy? Like, people are scared to ask questions, and I get that. I'm one of those people. I'm scared to go ask somebody for the answer. Like, oh hey, you did all this work. Will you just tell me the answer? Like, it just doesn't sit well with me, right? So like, if you're really into ATROPA and you're really into figuring out these treasury tokens, ask the questions. If you're in the telegrams, or you're welcome to come to the pub. I'm in there, Stu's in there, Saint's in there. If you ask the question, I don't necessarily have to be the one to answer it. You might get 10 people to answer it, but at least in the pub, I know you're not going to get a scam. And if you do, we'll just delete that. But like, for the most part, there's 10 people there that have been there before, realize where you're at, have their view on the answer, and there's 10 or 20 or 100 other people that have the same question that just didn't answer it. So often, even times if you didn't get your answer, someone that never even saw it got theirs, right? So there's so much money in crypto. None of us have to fight each other. We don't have to play the player versus player shit. We truly can just help one another, and we can all make it. Like, there's, especially now, these last 6 months since Trump's in, since America's pro crypto, the money of river that is flowing is just absolutely stupid phenomenal. And if you can just take one little tiny hose and get a little bit of water spicking it out of that river and into your house, you're gonna be fine. And I guarantee you there's more than enough for all of our hoses.
Well said, man. Well said. You guys are amazing. These gentlemen are ultra bullish on pulsechain. I hope you guys are too. Chat, you guys are absolutely amazing. And if you do want to know more about Lao and getting in deeper and deeper into ATROPA, let us know in the Telegram that you want to see more, and maybe we'll put another stream together and going on that. But with that, man, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your summer, and hope to chat with you guys again soon.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
thanks for the stream,
Shane.
brother. We're always good.
Yeah, Sonny, likewise, man. Nice to hear your voice again. I'm glad you had a great summer.
And I'll open up the pub here after this stream for an hour or two, just to bullshit if anyone wants to stop by.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Shane, likewise. Thank you again, man. Pleasure to meet you.
You got it. Good night, everybody. See you.
Good night, guys.